I still gotta grow. Know that I'm working the most, no, I'm never gonna choke. And I'm looking back down on the people below. I've been keeping real, I've been doing what I feel. I've been out here trying to kill every beat, I know I will. Everything I'm working on, every night another song. They've been quiet all along, they gon' notice when I'm gone. I put the team on my back, I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap, nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday, they think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off, waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Everyone making excuses, I've been busy making music. They just wanna see me fall off, know that I'm never gon' lose it. Got addicted to the chase now, people saying that I changed now. Know that I'm never gon' stand still, I'm treating the game like a race now. They really been carefully watching me, they treated me like I was calories, but really they can't get enough of me. They treated me like I'm a salary, they bringing me up in discussion, they wondering how do I do it so casually. I celebrate all of my victories, all of a sudden they all gon' be mad at me. Damn, I don't have time for concern, I just go live and I learn. Trust me, I waited my turn, living my dream in return. This is a given, it's earned. People been listening over the world, I've been making that money while I be asleep. I never ran to the money, but now all the money been too busy running to me. Ayy, I put the team on my back, I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap, nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday, they think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off, waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. I'm not doing this for the money, so don't misinterpret my last line. The weather ain't always been sunny, but I know that I'm gonna still shine. You never gon' make it till you got the power to go and develop a strong mind. Cause everything happens where you don't expect it, the journey ain't given a deadline. I'm going till I got a flat line, connecting with people like landline. I've been blowing up like a landmine, I put myself on like a combine. Knowing the way that they go and I'm ready for more, I don't wait on the sideline. I'm feeling like 2011 when Drizzy was dropping them hits like his headlines. I don't understand what I can't do.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
You are now tuning in to the Snap Call Podcast.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Snap Call. This is episode 8, and I'm Xavier.
I'm Ice.
Hector.
And today is a special episode. We got PeteyStaysFresh here.
PeteyStaysFresh.
There you go. Petey, if you guys have been around Instagram, social media, and poker the last 7-8 years, you know who PeteyStaysFresh is. So Petey just happens to be a local. Obviously, we are Orlando-based, so it's actually pretty cool and fortunate that we're all in the same city and we're able to have him on. So Petey, thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Of course. So, yeah, you know, we're just gonna kind of kick this episode off and just kind of go through what life for Petey looks like these days, as well as like his poker journey, how he got into poker, and you know what he's doing these days, and what are his future poker goals if poker's still in the picture for him. So, I guess first and foremost, you know, what have you been up to? We've been seeing a lot of beach videos and photos. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what life for you looks like lately.
Well, I've been traveling a lot for work, been working a lot, trying to get my roll back up, because honestly, my roll has been way too low for where I like to play at. So I'm not very good at the stepping down in levels to the, I don't know what it is. I might as well not play. So I've just been trying to get my money back up the other ways that I've always had, and So we're working a lot. The beaches. I was in Puerto Rico a lot for work, and then, of course, Dominican Republic. I've been dating this girl in Dominican Republic,
Nice.
and so I go there a lot for it was just my birthday, so I was there for my birthday. My mom came. That was a lot of fun, and But as far as poker, the roll is finally back up. We just bought a car today. Actually, we're celebrating.
Nice.
New
Congrats.
car.
Congrats.
Got rid of my lease, dropped it off, and so got a new car. Now I can. I had to drop a little bit from the roll on the
whip.
car, so that. But I did get a loan, so that helped. So now I got actually a little extra cash. But you know what they say? Don't put a loan on. I don't want to put my loan money on poker. That's definitely. I wouldn't recommend that so much, but
No.
definitely have
Yes.
the roll is healthy and gonna definitely be playing. I'm actually going to Vegas with a friend, Sonny. I don't know, you know Sonny. He's like he's an Asian guy. He plays at OC a lot. I think he's the best player. I haven't played the last year so much.
He's
but-
leather jacket guy. Does he have the leather jacket?
Leather jacket. No, Sonny.
There's one intimidating dude over there. You know who I'm talking about.
You probably know him, but he's honestly like I don't want to say his numbers or whatever, but I played a lot in 2022. That was like my year. Last year I lost my role in 2022, so last year was just build back, and this year finally almost there. But he was the best when I was playing every day, and I played there every day, 5 days a week for like a year. I mean,
Nice.
yeah, and he was the best in my opinion. But anyways, we're going to Vegas. And I'm gonna do 3 days, and he's getting a hotel or whatever. I haven't played in Vegas in a long time, and I'm gonna put 3 days actually grinding. That's my goal, and I haven't done that in like years. So
Yeah.
excited to really get to start playing there. My role's good. Start playing a lot more OC, but the last year I'm embarrassed. It hasn't been what it should be, and I haven't been playing much.
Gotcha.
Much at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, I miss, so like, like I was mentioning before, like I was messaging with Polarizing Chris. We were going back and forth about like how we don't see the chip porn like we used to back in the day, like anyone, right? Just anyone. And like I miss seeing that. Like
Rampage is a new chip one, but he's been kind of on a
the downswing now, yeah. But it's just interesting, like how people don't post as much and whatnot. And I'm like, man, like I miss those days. 'Cause it was motivating. Like it was motivating to see you play, Poker Agent play, Chris play.
That was my
Like it was just cool to go on and
happened.
go through the stories.
Friday, Saturday, you're.
So what do you
feed
think
was just
overall it's
loading,
dropped?
You're like, why am I not playing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What you think something happened or like what's going? It's overall you're saying as a poker community it's
I
gone
don't
down.
know. I don't know. That's
Trend. I just think it was
Yeah.
a trend that they were just like, hey, let's not show this. Maybe show like
Strategy.
show our stats per se.
Stats, strategy.
Say like, hey, this is my end of the month. Like I'm up or down or
Oh, right,
whatever
right.
the app is. Like
There's no more chip porn, you're saying, yeah.
Showing
Yeah.
my hey, I'm 10K plus this year or
Right.
whatever my hourly rate is.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, hey, here's some
This
tips.
is my stack. Yeah. I feel like you're right that people are a lot more like numbers based and strategy based and just having a picture of your stack. It's not as much as it's. Yeah, you're right. That is. I didn't even notice that actually.
I think it's a combination of things.
gotta bring it back, yeah.
COVID was one.
Yeah.
But I think, like he said, like I think a lot of those people that were like in the upper tier of like that weren't a pro, but they posted a lot. They started taking their game more serious. They were tracking a lot more, and seeing those graphs was more,
Right.
exciting for them versus seeing chip porn. But yeah, I miss those days. Like that shit was that was so fun to look at. Like just seeing these towers and towers. Like
We gotta
man,
bring
like
it back. We gotta
like-
bring it back. It's hard to get those towers. That's the thing. You got to put in 20-hour sessions. I mean, I know back in NYPK used to put a lot of those big chip horns, and he used to tell me he would do like 36-hour sessions, which I can never do. I struggle with like a 10-hour session. 12 hours is really hard. Like, that's why with these deep tourneys, you got to do like 12, 14 hours. If you're including all the breaks, like being there, it's like if you make day 2, it's like a 12, 14-hour sesh, and those are hard for me. Yeah. That's
I
how you
remember-
get those big chip horns.
it was like 2012, 2013, I feel like, when people started posting a lot of chip porn. And I think the king of chip porn in the early days was Waddle. Waddle was the one that was posting like,
Waddle?
like $400 or $500 to like $20,000, $30,000 stacks. And now he plays bigger, but like he was kind of the one that I felt kicked it off. And then everyone kind of was like, oh, let me do it. And then it's just like a movement. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then now it's like just kind of died down. And I think a lot of it too is like poker content creation has changed. Like it's less Instagram and it's a lot more YouTube and TikTok. So it's more video based.
Right.
So you're not seeing pictures,
Like
which is
Wolfgang, I
fine.
like Wolfgang.
Wolfgang's, yeah.
He
Wolfgang's
does those
fine.
like little reels or whatever.
I don't know if you guys seen Sethi. He does the skits a lot. He's hilarious. Greg goes all in. Like there's some really
There's a lot,
like
yeah.
creative dudes out there posting
It's just
poker
not so
content.
much chip. I feel like it's definitely grown. It's just not so much chip porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I have
100%.
a friend Saucy. I don't know if you know Saucy, and he used to post huge chip porns.
Yeah.
And he used to have he had this one pic that got like so many views and likes or whatever. It was just it was like this like cyclone tower. I don't know. It was like this high, but it was
Those are
like
cool. Yeah, I remember
big,
those.
and it was like
anything.
I'm like, bro, how did you make that?
You gotta like color down to get that.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro. He's like, oh, you just sit there for 15 hours, you just get bored,
I felt like the chip porn came kind of like the same time PLO got really famous. Like as
PLO
far as,
too,
like,
yeah,
PLO was
same.
coming up.
I think, I feel like PLO got more popular later on. I feel like now PLO is like everything. People just love PLO.
But it's definitely grown. It's like kind of after that, a few years. It's like
Yeah.
when PLO is definitely the new like also where the game's gone.
Yeah, PLO is. I mean, PLO is fun because I mean, everyone's got a chance at PLO. It's a shit show. Like I don't
not a
care
big
how good
PLO
you are
guy,
at
yeah.
PLO. Like if it's not your day, it's not your day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that happens in No Limit too. But I just feel like
The swings.
PLO, I'm just like I have aces, but I don't think I'm gonna win. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna win.
No,
Oh,
100%.
you beat me. There you go. Yep.
So talking about building your bankroll. So what stakes are you playing? 1, 2, 2,
So,
5.
When I played in 2022 was my biggest year, and it was also my worst year. Like I lost 15 grand in 2022. I never had a losing year, overall in poker ever. And I've been playing like 15 years, so that was just devastating to me. 15 grand. I was like, man, I can't be that guy that's just losing tens of thousands. But I was playing 2-5 every day when it was 800 max. Now inflation happened. Now it's 1200 max. Which losing 800 and is a lot different to me than losing 1200, and it's a much bigger game. People double up 2500 instead of 15, 16. The stacks are a lot bigger. So now the game is too big for my to really be playing like I was trying to get back up to like a 20k roll, 25k roll again, where I can now it's 1200, lose a couple buy-ins and not be like, damn, like this is too much money. So yeah, I try to stay at in OC, that's like the biggest game now. So I like to trying to go, for me to go back down to 1-2, I do it when I wait for a table or something, and I don't know what it is. Like I'm just so tilted so fast. Like
I prefer a lot of 2-5s. I play 1-2. Obviously, sometimes the roll goes up and down. But 1-2, you can get on a good game, but most of the time it's 80-year-olds and just like dry, no action.
It's low level skill level. I mean, regardless. I mean, there's different types of low skill level, but I mean, it's a low skill level table usually, so that's good. But I mean, oh my God, I won $18. Like these people nibble like $6 bets and like with the $1 chips, and it's just like, I mean, you could double up, if you buy in 300, 600, 900, have a nice day maybe, but you're grinding for $20, $50 wins. Like I'm just like, bro, I can't.
So you think you just went on a big downswing?
I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, that's a good. I mean, it was a downswing. The reason, when you're playing the 1-2s and even the 2-5s, I started playing a lot of 5-5s too that year though. It was like 1,500 max buys, and I had my biggest max buy was a 2K buy-in, and I lost that one. Aces to kings, and he had king. I'm not making excuses. It's just I had a big losing. That was my biggest buy-in ever, 2K, and I got aces into kings all in for like $5,000 pie. And it was like my first 30 minutes, and I left. But I was playing a lot bigger. But the problem was is that I was not better than these players. Honestly, if you're not better than the players, you're not gonna be making money long term. But I feel like the gap isn't so big that it's nice to see that. And obviously, you're getting better when you're playing with these players all day, every day. Yeah.
How was your mindset when you lost that $5,000 pie?
Oh, it was brutal, but I mean,
did you
the
bounce
mindset
back?
is
You
as
play
long
like-
as I always play. I'm just trying to get it in good. So I mean, I don't want to be
Of course.
caught up in the
You run into a
mysticism
cooler.
of bad luck or whatever that is. It causes that. Sometimes you go crazy. Like, did I do something bad to somebody or whatever? Like, it's this bad karma. Like, it's just you put the money in good, and you want to get aces in versus kings all day.
Yeah.
So I was annoyed that I lost my biggest buy-in ever, but there's nothing I could do.
Did you take a day or two off, a week off, or?
Yeah, I usually 2,000's a lot to me. If I lose a big buy-in, I usually I don't do rebuys on like 1,200 max buys. If it's like a 1-2, I'll rebuy, or 1-3, I'll rebuy. But if it's like an 800 or $1,000 buy-in, you almost always don't rebuy. That's just for me in my life as a poker player. I'm not very good at discipline and control. Is kind of my, I do have a gambler's so I would go broke back in the day just rebuying, and I'm never playing good on my rebuy, almost never. My rebuy is always like half as good of, like I'm a little more emotional, I'm a little more tilted. I'm obviously thinking I want to get that money back, so I'm never playing as good as like if I just come back the next day and fresh. So I try to not do rebuys, but a lot of people tell me that's bad, and a lot of people rebuy and they don't have that emotional maybe problem that I have. They play the same,
I know some people like they bust and then they rebuy, and then that second buy-in they like play more like
their range opens up. Yeah.
So I know some people get on till and they just start blowing off.
Yeah, that was me. Like if I missed the last flush draw on the first buy-in, I'm definitely shoving, with the full equity, like the flush draw on this one because I lost the last one. So I'm definitely hitting this flush draw. I don't know. It's just that's not really good poker either.
And how's the 2-5 game you feel at Orange City?
Yeah.
You like it?
I love it. That's what I'm saying. Like I think the best player is Sonny, and I was playing. I mean, so I haven't played there in a year really, but
as far
it's
as
probably
action
still
wise, you like it action wise?
Yeah, I mean it's just what time you go. Like if you go the 9 to 5, like it opens at 10, and like the best players are getting there at like 10, getting that first 2-5 table, and then they're sitting there from 10 to 5 p.m. and 5 of them are pros that sit there every day. So it's like you're playing against 5 pros all day for 8 hours. Like if you're not better than them, they're gonna beat you over time. Yeah.
I think Orange City has the best 2-5 game.
Yeah.
Out of Tampa, out of
Oh, really?
Hollywood. Oh yeah, a lot of action.
But are you saying like on a Tuesday, or are you saying like on a Friday, Saturday?
Oh, usually I go Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, see Friday,
'cause I work.
Saturday. So if
Monday,
you're saying that, because Friday, Saturday is their best day, that's gonna be the most tables of 2-5. Because if there's more tables, the best players are not gonna all be on the same table. So yeah, like on Friday, Saturday, they get like 5, 6 2-5s, right?
They usually run like 2 or 3, and they have a must-move table going.
Yeah, but on Friday, Saturday, like it'll get up to 4 tables sometimes.
Yeah,
total 2-5s.
And then most of the guys sometimes go play the PLO too.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Yeah.
Or they'll
During
open
the
up
weekday,
a
it's
5-5
one.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. During the weekday, it's 1 table, so it's just like that's a bad.
The Orange City got a lot of guys that give a lot of action.
Yeah, they do.
If
Yeah.
you know a guy, Alfred,
Yeah.
big, short guy, but with big muscles like that.
He drives like I forget the car. It's like a Ferrari looking car. He drives.
Yeah.
Talking about
he's
Jared?
The best. I love that guy.
Jared. Man, when he shows up to the table, I love it.
I love it. It's great.
There's gonna be a ton of action every single time.
For some reason,
He's
every time
still
I go, he's always at my table. It's always good.
Yeah, it's a
DM
great room. I think it's a great room.
to this day he still DMs me Joe Biden videos.
Yeah.
Because one time I said something about Joe Biden being better than Trump. To this day he still DMs me Joe Biden videos on Instagram.
I love it. I love it.
But when
somebody at the poker room,
I said something to him one time. I like needled him about Biden and Trump, and then that night he started messaging me memes. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
He's a
you
trip.
know I love my boy Biden, so I don't want to get too crazy on politics.
Yeah.
I know that offends some people, but I can't believe you had the balls to say that to somebody.
Oh
in the
yeah.
poker room.
Ah, we just have fun.
Yeah.
But so like kind of building off of that, like one of the things we talked about a couple weeks ago was Rampage Poker, and you mentioned it and how like downswings, right? Like you mentioned, you take a step back, you don't do a second rebuy, which is great because you realize on that second rebuy you may not be thinking straight. So you have like that control set in. Are there any other things that you do to battle or like overcome a bad beat? Like is it you review your hands with friends? Do you look at charts? You watch video? Like is there anything else for you to kind of say, all right, I'm ready to go back to kind of help you with the downswings?
I don't have a whole lot of support like that stuff, friends and stuff. I mean, I don't usually go over hands really. Sometimes with Sonny a little bit. That's about it. I don't have that many friends in the poker community anymore that I'm just like that because it's just I don't know. So I definitely don't do that when I play. But yeah, I don't know.
Time more than anything, just kind of.
Yeah, like a bad beat, I guess. Like the whole question with the bad beat for me, I guess my answer for that is they're not even a thing to me. Like I just like I was saying to him a little bit earlier. If I get my money in good, that's the goal. That's always the goal. I don't get caught up in like, oh, this happened. Obviously I want to win, and I'm just a competitive guy. That's why I love poker. I've always been. We could play a video game, and I want to beat you. Like if we play a sport, I want to beat you. Like I've just always been really competitive, and for me, poker was I was never tall enough for basketball. I played soccer, but I don't know. I wasn't good enough, really. Whatever it is, and it's just for me, poker could do it till you're 60, you're 70, and you don't have to worry about that physical component. It's just a mental game. Yeah. But to me, it's still got that competitive sport. I've always argued with people that poker's a sport. We can do that's another topic, but So yeah, I mean, I just been. for bad beats, I just don't even think about them, and that's why it's not even. But when I lose a hand like the 2000, I do take a day off. I'm always reviewing how to get better. Not necessarily. I mean, I'll go over that hand in my head the whole way home and think about it and think about every little detail. Of course, I'm not a big write down guy in my whole life and anything. I've always been just kind of like
live in the moment.
In my mind, I can do it, I guess. And
okay.
I do talk about hands sometimes, but it's not like I'm always calling a friend, hey, what do you think about this hand? I mean, I'd love if you guys want to be that person. You're always welcome to call me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'll go over a hand with you guys or something maybe in the future. But yeah, lately, no. And but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when we talked about it before, that was kind of my thinking was, as long as I got it in good, like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like if I
shouldn't be too caught up in the emotional.
Yeah,
you know,
if I run it back, I look at the percentages and I got it in good. It is what it is. Variance got me that time. Variance says that I'll get it the next time. It is what it is. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially like in a hand like that, 5K. That's not a small amount of money, but you know, you have that ease of mind. Like, all right, I can move on, and we can kind of do that.
I mean, it was tough. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I said bye to everybody. I said nice hand. You know, that's the hardest thing for me is etiquette. I've always debated with people about etiquette. Sometimes I get real comfortable at the table, and you know, I used to struggle with like saying too many, but now I just try to say nice hand. You know, even in a hand like that, not say nothing. And, you know, if the guy played it a certain way, I used to say things like, "How you gonna call me there?" Stuff like that. Now I try to just be like, "Nice hand."
Yeah.
Even if
you're not a misreg anymore.
Huh?
You're not a misreg anymore.
Misreg?
Yeah.
What's
you ever
that?
seen the Ryan Apollo video? Like he calls like the grumpy old guys, they're like misregs, like they always miserable at the table.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and those people are everywhere, and I just think it destroys the game because nobody wants to sit here. And I'm trying to grow the game. That's why I want to do this, or why I got my Instagram when I moved to Vegas. I wanted to grow it in the game, but also I'm always trying to tell people about poker. I think it shouldn't be illegal. Like legalize it. I feel like we're like underground. Poker's always like this kind of hidden illegal thing, and it's like, can we play poker? It's an American game, but it's the only country in the world that you can't play Texas Hold'em online.
Yeah,
on Poker Stars, or you have to have like a VPN. I'm like, it's Parliament, Omaha, Nebraska, and Texas Hold'em, but all the other countries can play but us. So I'm like, what? Can we legalize it? Like,
it is true. Like to this day, poker has that stigma. Like when I tell people, like,
what is going on? Like,
usually like at my whenever I start a new job, which is pretty constant in the last couple of years, you know, people will say like, tell us something about you we don't know, and I'll be like, oh, I play poker. And the moment you say that, people are like, oh, you
gamble.
It's like, oh, you gamble, or it's almost like forbidden. Like it's like, oh, like where do you play? Like where do you think I play? A fucking casino, the card room. Like they really think you're playing like in an alley in a hidden doorway, like you're in Rounders or something. Like
even before the movie Rounders, poker on movies was someone's always cheating.
Yeah, right.
Cards up
Dark
the
world.
sleeves,
Yeah.
You know, someone's bringing them extra cards or something like that. And it wasn't until, I want to say for me, Rounders, that was like, oh, it's, you know, it's just a different world.
Yeah.
But they kept the integrity of the game there. And then other movies followed that. And they were like, oh, like, you know, these are people who make livings at it. And they're, you know, they're not pieces of crap.
I mean, poker could be a dark world like any gambling for sure. Yeah. But I mean, I just think it's the American dream to me, where it's like if you work hard and you do it the right way and you put in the work, you can make. It's not like you're just gonna lose even if you're good. Like I know people that make good money playing poker 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and it's been proven to me that it does. You know. You could think, oh, I'm gonna make money as a poker player, but if you don't know these people, what?
Do you play online at all?
You know, I do global. I play on global sometimes, and I post it sometimes, but it's not like I'm grinding on global every day, and I don't play anything. Global's the only one that would take my money out of Chase and just bam, put it in Chase. But like, you know, little apps or I don't know, GG Poker. How do you play GG Poker? Like, you can play like I don't know how to do.
It's a subscription, right? And
so it's kind of like the difference back in the day of like poker.com and poker.net, like or fulltilt.com, fulltilt.
Yeah, .net, yeah.
So yeah, fulltilt.net was like where you could play for real money, and then .com was just play money.
Fake money. Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
Club GG, I think it's where it's subscription based, where it's like you put in money and they give you money for seats, like you're playing for seats.
It's pretty much satellites.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But I'm not trying to do that. But I heard if you want to do normal poker on GG, you have to have a VPN or you have to be out of the country. And I'm just like, why do I always have to be out of America?
You gotta show where you're.
Like, what is the problem? It's so annoying to me.
Yeah, no.
And it's like we invented poker, but we can't. All the like Europeans are so good now, and I'm just
you
like,
don't touch ACR.
what?
You don't touch America's Card Room.
Touch America?
So there's another poker
Oh, I don't
site.
touch it. Yeah, America's card. ACR. Yeah. ACR. No, I don't play ACR either. No.
Yeah.
But how do you? Because I couldn't get on it. It was like, how
You
do
gotta
you?
use Bitcoin.
Big, yeah, you have to make a Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm just like,
They make it too complicated for sure.
it shouldn't be so hard. Like, can I just give you my debit card and,
Yeah.
or Zelle or whatever?
Blame it all on Chris Ferguson.
Yeah, pretty much. But all right, well, on that topic, right, talking about like live poker versus online poker, due to your profession, you've had a chance to play in a lot of different poker rooms, right?
Yes.
Like across the
Do my
country.
job, yes.
Like, I know you mentioned the Bellagio is your favorite room. Are there any other rooms that you're like, when you land, you're like, I got to go play in that room. The action's great. Or for you, it's just like Vegas or OC. Like, well, yeah, tell us like what states.
It's a hard question to answer. It's just there's so many. I've been all around the country, and I try to just make a habit of, if there's a poker room within like at least a $20 Uber. Like, I'm not trying to drive like 40, 50 for an Uber, but if it's like a $20 Uber, I try to make an effort to go. Because that's why I wanted to be a flight attendant, was so I could travel and play poker, fly free, and it's not so easy to work 9 to 5 and then get a week off and be able to also pay for a hotel and flight and all those other things. So I'm getting all that and I'm getting paid. So I try to take advantage where I can explore these new poker rooms. Honestly, there's nothing more, like, that's my favorite thing is like playing in a new poker room that's like legal and legit. That's like so fun to me. Like, I'm like a kid in a candy store. And so I guess to answer the question, obviously, yes, Bellagio is probably my all-time favorite, but random little places like a lot. Obviously, Hollywood. I love the guitar room. Like, I get a lot of Fort Lauderdale's, and that's close. And I've done that a few times. Do you guys like the Hollywood?
Yeah.
Like the guitar poker room. It's a good poker room, right?
Yeah.
It's the best in the East.
I think it's amazing. Yeah, it's the best in Florida. I think in Florida, but
I think
outside of Florida,
nicest probably. I'd say probably nicest with Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa, but it's better than Tampa now. It's
Yeah.
It's hard.
Now that they reopened it or they did the new room.
I want to, but I forget the name of the room now off the top of my head, but Philly layovers. Philly's got a great poker
They got
scene.
Parks up there. Is it Parks that's in
Live
Philadelphia?
too, right?
Yeah, live. There's a live there. I think I played it, and there's also a Parks. Yeah, I think
Parks
it's a
and
Parks.
Gym,
There's
right?
two.
No,
But-
It's like PARX Parks.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
uh-huh.
But I think it's in.
Yeah,
I think it's in
yeah,
Philadelphia.
Parks,
or in
PARX.
Pennsylvania somewhere.
That was a great room. I had a great session. I think it was a $1,500 buy-in back in 2022 when I was really playing, and I ran it up to like 4K or 3,500 or something, and it was so much action. Like, yeah, like it was a great room, and people were cool, and they had like a smoke area. Everybody was like smoking weed and chilling. Not that I do that or anything, but anyways, it was just a really good culture, and I like the people. People were really like friendly, and definitely I like Philly's poker scene. Shout out Philly. Trying to think.
What about LA? Like Dubai, Commerce, like all those.
LA. I went there back when I was living in Vegas, and I had a 3-month through work. They put me in LA, and I did the Commerce. Honestly, I didn't. I think what's one? It's like the biggest. It's like the most tables.
I think Commerce.
Yeah, that's
I think
Commerce,
it's the Commerce.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Commerce, but I didn't like one of them. It was like a ghetto parking lot, and like the room was kind of ghetto, but it was like the most tables in the world, or like biggest poker room in the world, or that was like their advertisement.
That sounds like
I think it's
Commerce.
Commerce.
I think it sounds like
But
Commerce.
there's another one that I played at that had tournaments, and that one was nice. I like that one. Bicycle. I like Bicycle.
Okay, yeah.
Bicycle was nice. They had done this like remodel, and it was like a tournament. I thought that one was nicer than Commerce.
Nice.
And then the Hollywood Park. I went to the Hollywood Park way back. I just went like a few months ago, and now it's all remodeled. But now, when I went there last time, it was like people were like this cop and this guy were like fighting. It was like crazy, super ghetto, like legit. Like he was on the floor. They were like beating him in the poker room. Like it was ghetto. Like it was like legit ghetto. I felt kind of scared a little bit. Like, damn, not scared, but like I gotta be careful in here. But now they remodeled it, and the Hollywood Park is probably the best room in LA. That's amazing now.
Yeah.
It's right across from the new Clippers arena they just built. Right,
Okay.
It's like right there.
Nice.
And then obviously you have like the old Hollywood, like the one the Lakers used to play, and it's still there. And then they have the new, the football stadium that they just built. It's like right there.
SoFi. It's like the whole area.
So like but the last time I was there, none of those three arenas were there. Like the football arena that they just, I forget what it's called though. You know what but like just
SoFi,
like all this
right?
stuff, and it's brand new.
SoFi.
SoFi wasn't there. Now they got the Clippers, and it's just like this new poker room is remodeled. It's a really nice. That's my favorite Hollywood Park.
You
Shout out.
played in
Hollywood.
any rooms in Texas?
Texas. See, I was just talking to Sonny. I want to go to. I haven't been to Texas, and I heard great things about Texas. When I have Austin layovers, the poker room that
The lodge, right?
What is it? The Lodge. Yeah. The Lodge. It's always like a 40. It's like kind of not that close to downtown Austin. It's like a $50 Uber. So I want to do it though. I never muster up the courage to do that one. I want to do
That's
like
a couple hands.
Texas.
50 and 50.
Yeah. That's
You shouldn't be so chill. I want to do it. It's, I want to do like actually like a Texas off work, like do a couple room, like do like because there's Dallas and then Austin's like 2 hours I think, and then San Antonio has some rooms too. So I want to do like the whole Texas tour. Maybe I'll drive one day to go with a friend.
Yeah.
Like get a rental or something. Yeah.
I know. So you got the Lodge, which is Doug Polk's room.
Yeah, Doug Polk's room.
And then Wolfgang has his own room that he's like an investor in. Yeah. So
Wolfgang
like
has a room?
Yeah. So I
Shout out
DM'd Wolfgang from our Instagram account, and I was like, hey, like if we ever wanted to go out there to Texas and do like a tour of Texas rooms, like is it content creator friendly? And he was like, yeah, it's content
Which is a
creator
big
friendly.
question.
Yada
He always
yada.
give me shit,
So
bro.
because like he's always recording, right? So like. In the Florida, in the rooms here, like depending on your dealer, they may not
They
care.
will always tell you can't do that.
Or they'll tell you
Like,
can't do it, so it's annoying. So
It's annoying.
I was wondering, like, if because it's his room, how comfortable are they with you recording every hand? And he's like, yeah, as long as it's not someone that's getting bothered, you're good.
Right, yeah.
I was okay.
Yeah, he
And
better
first off, I
be.
thought it was just cool. Wolfgang
That is
replied,
cool.
so I was like, that's pretty cool. But
That should be,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's interesting how Dallas or Texas does their rooms because I guess the way
Yeah.
poker there isn't completely legal, or at
They keep
least
trying to make it illegal. They keep trying to fight and close
Yeah.
down poker rooms. I'm
It's
like, it's
stupid.
Texas Hold'em.
So they do a monthly, or so you can do a daily, weekly, or monthly membership, and then you got to pay like an hourly rate for your seat. So it just adds up, and I don't know what that would look like over the course of, but they don't take a rake.
yeah.
So I wonder what that would look like for someone's hourly,
Where they can get
but-
around it. I mean, it's almost probably the same or similar. I mean, I haven't done the actual like crunching of those, but
I just wonder if you're like card dead for like 30 minutes, but you're finding you got to pay your daily fee, you
Yeah.
got to pay, it's just like it adds up. It adds
yeah.
up.
If you're a tighter player, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
'Cause you'll, like, never play.
That poker room that got raided and they took the whole prize pool. It was a $100K tournament.
Oh, that's what you were telling me about. Yeah.
It was like two years ago. I
You
forgot.
got raided?
Yeah.
Where was it? In
It
Texas?
was
Or?
in Texas. It was a day two of their 100.
See, that's what I'm saying. What is going on in this country?
And they just came in and took the buy-in, took everything. Nobody.
That's terrible.
Everyone who was in there didn't get paid. I think the last 32 players or something had to get bonded or something. Yeah.
What?
That's nuts.
That's
Take the whole
ridiculous.
price.
Do it in day one. Don't do it
Yeah,
day two.
That's what we're
You're
saying.
getting the
Why is it
money
so
in day
illegal?
two.
Like, what's
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. They make it a lot more difficult than they need
Why
to.
are they doing all this in America? Like,
I
what?
mean, I'm happy that Texas found it sounds like what they found was a loophole to make it legal.
Yeah, that's the
So good
loophole,
for
yeah.
them because I mean, huge state, a lot of potential. It's the cost of living in Texas is low, and
Amazing.
and content
Houston.
creation is huge in Texas for gamers, for poker players,
Yeah.
in general. So pretty cool stuff.
It's true.
So like we've been playing poker since we were like 18, 19. I've been playing with Ice for a long time. And we kind of got I got my start learning on a Friday night by UCF and a
Sounds
little
like me, man.
and a
18.
little tournament. Yeah, so that's
Yeah, home
that's what I was
games
gonna
by
ask you.
UCF,
Like,
actually, yeah.
how did you get into poker? Was it cash games versus tournaments? And then at what point were you like, I want to keep doing this?
Yeah, it was. I was working at Cracker Barrel at 18. I had my
Which
first
one?
girlfriend.
Sanford?
Huh?
The one in Sanford?
The one right behind, by the Altamont Mall in Altamont.
okay.
I grew up in
Yeah,
Altamont. Yeah, it's like kind
Oh,
of.
it's just there. I was
Like all 5-4.
I was at the Longhorn the other day, but it's right by it.
I was just, I would make like $40-$50 in cash back then, which was like good, maybe $60, and I would work like 5 hours. It was horrible, like all this shit I had to do, and then I started doing the home. It was more in Altamont, like Apopka, where I grew up, but home games. Like my buddy would kind of like, he was the social, he knew everybody. He would always be like, oh, there's this home game, and I'm like, oh, let's do it, and like it always sounds like cocky or whatever, but like me and him would almost always be the final two. Like, and then I would almost always beat him, and we would split it or something, and it was just like I would be making $40-$50 at work for 5 hours, but then I'm doing a home game and I'm making $200. It's like a $20 buy-in, some rebuys. We would do like first and second place, and I'm making like $150 to $200, sometimes $300, and I'm just like, damn, like this is I'm making money. I was winning like almost. It sounds crazy, and it's like I don't even know if that's possible. Like I don't know what was, but they didn't raise the blinds, so you could play like real, like just wait forever, and nobody else would wait forever. They would just
Push on.
punt, and so if you just sat there and for 4 hours and waited for like big hands, they would just punt to you.
Yeah.
and nobody was like playing tight. You know, it's $10, $20. Like nobody's, and I would win almost every time, like 8 out of 9 times or 9 out of 10 times I was winning. And so I'm like, man, I need to. And then I was playing on Poker Stars back then. It was like right before it shut down. And then I had this tournament. It was like a $20, $30 tournament, and I was. This is after Cracker Bro. This is like a different time than before, but I was doing sign spinning, like spinning signs, and I had this place I had to go to, and I was gonna make like $250 for like, I don't know, 7 hours. It was like a day of spinning signs, and I'm like, was playing this tournament the night before, and I'm like, if I win this tournament, I'm not, because it was like $400 for this tournament, and I'm like, if I
going out
make
there.
$400, I'm living at my mom's house. You know what I mean? I have no bills. I had a car, like insurance was paid. It was like a $1,000 car. I had no payments. It's like $50 insurance. Like, I didn't have bills. I was like, if I win this tournament, I'm not spinning signs. So I'm gonna just call out or whatever. And I won the tournament, and I won like $400. I'll never forget that. Back then, I was like, I'm good. I can go do whatever on Friday, Saturday for like the next 3 weeks and have fun. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I started really playing more, but then I moved out. I feel like I'm talking forever, but then I moved out
you're good, you're
to UCF side when I was 22 with my best friend and another friend, and I started realizing bills, and like, you know, if you don't pay your bill, like the electric gets turned off. Like my friend was paying the electric, he didn't pay it. I come home, like the food was like spoiled. I'm like, what is going on? Like they just turn your shit off. Like that's how, like, I don't know, it was like eye opening. So I just really wanted to have a stable job because it was too stressful to like grind, and then like if I lose and have all these bills, like I was too young, and like it was just too much. So I got like a real job, became a flight attendant when I was 22, and then I didn't really play that much. I was kind of doing it, but then it wasn't until I moved to Vegas. I made a decision at 25 to move to Vegas and got a condo, and that's when I really started I created PeteyStaysFresh on Instagram. I never even really had an Instagram, and then I really posted. I was like, you know, I don't know, probably 2014 or 15 or whatever, those years, 13. And that was when I really started grinding and making some money on the side. I was really playing. My goal was $1,000 a month, and I did it for like pretty much on average like $1,000 a month for like 3-4 years. But just 1-3s. Back then I was playing at Orleans, because my condo was right next to Orleans. So I would go to Orleans. They had a 500 max, 1-3, and I would just go with 500, and if I doubled, I would leave. And I would double a lot and leave. Like, it sounds horrible. I wouldn't like leave like that hand, you know. I would bounce, but my goal was to get a double and then like cash out.
Kind of tight. I need to.
Because I worked till like 5-6 p.m. every day, and then I would go for like 2 hours, like 7 to 9 was my goal, like 7 to 10, and then I got to go to work the next day early again. So I'm like, I can't just be here till 1 in the morning. Like, so I would just try to double. If it took 2 hours, if I lost, I would go home too. So and I would win a lot more. Like, I was doing pretty good at that game. That's a good game. The Orleans 1-3. It's a good game in Vegas. You only got that one. And the win for the 1-3 500 max, unless it's changed. All the other one.
And is
are like
that
300.
poker room more like locals that go?
Yeah, Orleans is a lot more old people and a lot more like off the strip people. Nice. And, but it was like, it was a good game though. They'd have like 3 or 4 of the 500 max, and people would sit with 500. And it's definitely a weaker field. Yeah.
So you had mentioned you would double up, then you would take off. Did you?
It sounds horrible.
No, did you ever get called out on it by any of the?
Because I wouldn't do it like, nobody really ever said anything like, oh, because I wouldn't do it like, oh, I won this hand and left. Like, I would wait like
an orbit
20 minutes or something, like good. You know what I mean, and then I would leave. I don't think I've ever just won and left like the next hand or something like that. But, you know, I would kind of work it in, you know, fold a couple hands, play a little tighter. Okay, I'm leaving. I don't think I ever just doubled and left.
I need a table transfer.
Yeah,
just go leave.
It wasn't like that, I don't think. But
text your friend, hey, call me. Hey, I gotta go.
What?
What you thought like your average session was?
Like time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 hours, bro. Honestly, it sounds so terrible, but it was like honestly like a 2 hour average. Because sometimes I would sit down for 20 minutes and lose, and I would just leave. So, and usually I don't play more than like 4 or 5 hours, honestly.
Yeah, because I know we definitely know. Like, oh, is this part of the strategy? Like, I'm just doubling up. Hey, another hit and run.
I was wondering, like, what people's strategies are. Like, when do you
have, like,
know?
a strategy, you know?
Yeah, like when do you know it's time to go? Like when your range starts opening up too much. Is it based off time? Is it based off a dollar figure?
It's a science.
Yeah,
that is a whole science.
When do you know? It's tough.
My answer to that great question is always just. You have to figure that out for yourself, because everybody's different. Like, I know people that are like robots and they have no emotion and they can, you know, there's just they should always be playing as long as the players are worse. You know, they should, if they're the best player at the table, they should never leave.
Yeah.
Technically, you know what I mean? But if you're like me, where like if you get tilted, or, you know, the same guy beats you twice, but he's a fish, I just lose my mind. Like I have to like, especially if he stacks me, like I'm not, like I can't. Like I can't even.
Yeah. No, I'll never forget. I remember I ran like 400 to like 37 or 3800 one time at 2.5.
That's good.
And
at OC?
Yeah, and I did it in like 50 minutes. I'll never forget.
Wow,
I remember
see?
I was texting like I want another one. So I think I peaked at like 4100 from 400.
That's incredible, bro.
Within like an hour and 15 minutes, like no joke.
So
and I remember
and went to 40.
Yeah. So I'll never forget. Like I sat there, and all I thought was like, this is the dream.
Yeah.
Like
This is
max
that
is
the
800.
feeling. Oh, the
no
feeling.
one's gonna be able to catch my stack, and I should bully. And all I thought was, do I leave now? And that's when I was just like, no,
Right, yeah,
this is the
exactly.
dream. Who knows if I ever run it up like this at 2.5 again? So like, that was one of those moments where I was just like, all right, am I here for a certain amount of time or a certain dollar figure? And then I think I left an hour before I anticipated to, because I was comfortable. I was like, I made my money. I don't want to get greedy. And I think I cashed out like just a little under 4K.
Yeah, it's great.
But, like,
But
it was
you said
nuts.
59 minutes, or like at 50 minutes you ran it up. So how much after that did you leave? Was it like 20 minutes?
No. I'd probably say another 90
yeah.
minutes, another 2 hours. So definitely it wasn't like
stayed
hit and
like
run.
another 2 hours,
But I mean,
yeah.
it was stupid like how hot I was running. Like
amazing.
I think I still have the evolution of that stack in my phone. Like the
wrote it down?
evolution. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
So it's just stupid. But I mean, like, you know,
That's your biggest cash out ever, right?
at a 2.5, yeah, easy.
I've never
easily.
cashed out like at a cash game. You've cashed out at a bigger. You've had a bigger.
No, that was easily my best.
Yeah,
Easily
that
my
like
best.
for me that'd be my. I think I cashed out 4K once too, but it was 800. But no, but it was like 45 or something. Yeah, almost 5K.
Yeah. It was easy.
Yeah, but
it was
that's
like,
right up there. 4K for a 2.5 is great.
yeah, no, I think I hit like a nut flush early on.
Yeah.
Then my kings held up against like an ace high flush, and that was basically 2 doubles. So it was like 4 to 8, and then like
Ace
8
high
to
flush,
like
you beat it
4
with
to 6.
kings?
No. He had ace high flush draw. Sorry, ace high flush draw. He missed on the flop,
you
so he
missed.
pushed.
Right,
So
right.
I got basically
I thought maybe
2
you voted or
doubles.
something on it.
No.
Damn, bro.
I hit I basically hit 2 doubles early, and then after that it was just like
Great.
$300 pushing all in on me. I'm like, no, I got ace king again. Like, what do you do?
That's why some people say you shouldn't leave, because once you have that stack, you really do have an advantage. If nobody
Yeah,
chases
no.
you.
And that's literally the dream scenario. And that's all I thought was like, why am I even thinking of leaving? Like, this is what I want. Like, if I'm sitting at a table and someone's got that stack, I'm immediately thinking I avoid them
Yeah.
or I need to double through them.
Right.
And it started seeping in. Like, you know, what do I do? And it was just like, I'm going to try and play until my length. It was a weekday.
Xavier, man, I love it. 4K stacks out here. That's,
Yeah, it's on Instagram somewhere.
what's your biggest at OC or cash game?
No idea, man.
No
You've
idea.
ran it up to like 3K plus though. You've had some big
probably
ones.
like 3,600, but I'm not.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like 3 or 4K is like a nice stack. Like I've never.
Yeah, it's crazy when you see like those like kids that play in the win. Now the win 2.5 plays huge. Obviously,
It's a five- oh,
It's
the
like a
2.5, yeah,
It's like a 5.10 almost.
Yeah, it is.
And you see dudes cashing out at like 6-7K consistently.
It's a
and it's
bigger
like
game, yeah.
what the hell? But it's again, yeah,
Yeah,
bigger
it is
game.
a bigger game.
See, I'm the opposite. I when I sit down, I come up fast,
Like
and then
pedal to
after
the
that, I
metal.
start bleeding off chips.
yeah.
So I have to grind. I have to grind for my hands, and I got
I
to put
played
a
with you a
session.
few times. I feel like I kind of.
Yeah, I need to grind. He'll be like, just sat down. 5 minutes later, we see a double up.
Yeah, that's
30
I'm
minutes
more
later.
like him than you. I'm more. I'm more. We have a similar.
So I
energy.
have to grind it out, and he's like, we'll sit at the same table, and I'm looking at him like, I should have sat right there, like
Yeah.
I'd be chilling.
But you have more of like a calm, like you're more disciplined. I feel like in calm, and like
Yeah,
you can be more patient. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's my biggest problem in poker is I'm just very like I like to get in there and semi bluff and you know.
Yeah. Once I open it up, I get there, but in the beginning, it's
beginning.
more of a feeling out.
That's smart because you should be feeling out the table first before you really start playing too many pots.
Yeah.
It is smart. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you a story. One time they called both our names for the same table, right? He ran to take a certain seat, right? So I got the seat next to him.
I didn't run, relax.
First,
he did it right. He did it right.
first hand, I had ace king. I doubled up. He was just looking at me like, "Fuck! I should have took that seat."
Yeah.
That's how I run. Like usually, I get
First
there
hand,
and
you
it's
get
just
ace
like-
king and double. Yeah.
Yeah, the first orbit, doing good.
That's because you got that energy, but you're like excited, and then that's because I feel like that's similar for me. And then it kind of like 4 or 5. I can't do these 8 hours. I just feel like my energy is just like I don't even get cards. Like,
and he's not winning with like top pair. Like you have monsters early.
Yeah.
Like he'll have like ace high flush in like the first orbit, and everyone's just like, "Welcome to the table."
But-
Like it's.
but then it kind of dies out. So it's like
I start bleeding off
Something-
chips, and obviously, you know, when you hit good hands, you have bad hands as well too.
Right.
And then
Exactly.
also, when you come up early and some guy raises and you trying to set mine or something like that, you start calling off $50 here, $40 here. Next
That's me. You sound like me. That sounds like me. It's a big league that I have. It's tough.
How would you say you run, Hector?
I think I'm more like you, where I'm just chilling.
Yeah, chilling. Yeah.
You know, I'm not even like I'm just playing my normal game, and I'm just trying to fight the feeling of shoving like it's a tournament. You know what I mean?
That sounds like me. Yeah, that's hard.
That's all I want to do is just shove.
I just want to bluff and shove and stuff. Yeah.
There was one time. So I normally play 2-5, but now like rebuilding my role and getting back into it, definitely play 1-2. But it was one time I sat with them at 1-2. I could have went to 2-5. I'm like, no, I want to drink beers with you and have a good time. So we sat at 1-2. First hand, Ace King. He's all in first hand, Ace King, and I have that video still in my phone. And he was just
like, I'm gonna play for like 4 hours.
Yeah, he's like he sits down, and you should have saw the sweat beating from his face.
I love
bro.
it. That's the best.
First hand, and he had the one buy-in, so it was that or nothing. And they ended up, I think you guys chopped. Like it was, you lost like $2.
Oh, it was a tournament.
No, it was cash. I just
chopped?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ended up chopping the hand and cash.
Oh, the hand.
Yeah. So they ended up chopping it. So
all
like,
that for nothing.
So all that sweat
hate
to
that.
lose the rake. Like it was
That's so annoying. I hate
But
that.
yeah, I think that's more of my thing, that I'm just like, I like tournaments. You know what I mean? I could sit in a tournament, play for 12 hours.
Oh my God, I love
to
tournaments.
Cash game, if I
It's different.
more than 3 hours, I'm like,
It's boring.
I want to get out of here.
It's tough.
You
It's
know,
tough.
and I rather lose everything
Right.
and head out than just still
Yeah.
play
It's
for 3 hours and only have $12. You know what I mean?
$12 profit, yeah, down to 12. I mean, tournaments you're playing, like you have that excitement, like you see when they start putting the money, it like motivates you when you get in those later hours. You're like, oh, I'm 40 away from day 2. Like it's like it like gets you like, it's different than cash.
Do tournaments, or are you like strictly cash? Or
no, I mean it's just tournaments. I've gotten to the point where I want to play bigger buy-in tournaments. It's hard for me. Like I can't really do a $100 buy-in tournament anymore. I just feels like a waste of time. Like I'm not even gonna be motivated or playing right. I'm just gonna be punting or whatever. But like, it's just that it's a lot of money, you know, and you're not gonna win. So you have to have like a much bigger role for tournaments. So, you know, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I want to go do the main when I have 20 grand, and here's half my role. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I want to do like $500 or at least 500 or 400 maybe. Like I feel like I want to do at least a 400 or 500.
There's a lot of value in those tournaments too. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
What we got next? Come on. Keep it moving here.
No. So let's see. So we talked about are you playing tournaments in cash, and obviously you rebuilt your role and whatnot.
Trying to get ready for WSOP.
Yeah,
trying to get ready for WSOP.
And that was kind of like our thought when we launched the podcast, right? And we came back was like, we're gonna have all these episodes. We're gonna take like a slight break, look at everything we've done, and then ramp up for WSOP season. So like, what have like, and if you haven't, that's cool. But like, how are you gearing up for WSOP season? Are you consistently like watching poker go? Like, if you're not playing, is poker out of sight, out of mind, or what is it?
It's bad. I'm not. I gotta be honest. I always keep it real. I don't do. I just been working so, but it's no excuse. It's just no. I'm not watching much. I mean, I follow people on Instagram.
Any YouTube bloggers or anything like that?
Any what?
YouTube bloggers or anything?
Yeah, like YouTube. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Brad Owen and a lot of I can't remember his name now. The other guy, Brad Owen. What's Brad Owen and what's it?
Wolfgang Boski.
No, it's like Brad Owen and his friend. They're like best friends.
Andrew Nemi.
Andrew Nemi. I used to watch Andrew Nemi way back. Like that was my original Andrew Nemi. And
when was the last time you watched Brad Owen?
What?
When was the last time you watched Brad Owen?
It's been some time. It's bad. It's bad. It's probably been a few months at least.
He just final table a $50,000 tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
50K tourney?
Isn't that crazy to think like he's just playing stakes like us?
That's what I'm saying. He's on that trajectory. Yeah. That's where I want to be. It's so hard to go. Like that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. So he's like an inspiration.
Before was like 1-2, 2-5. Then he jumped to 5-10. He was so.
I watched him a lot of the 5-10 vlogs in the Bellagio, like Vegas and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching him 5-10, and then I stopped watching for a while.
Yeah.
And I come back, and I'm like,
what happened? This guy's blown up.
Yeah.
I know.
Same thing with Rampage.
Player.
It's just it's crazy to see. Like, you think 7-8 years ago, it's like we were playing the same stakes. and now you see where they're at now, and you're like, I mean, good for them, right? Like, I mean, holy shit,
yeah.
but that is their career.
Rampage blew up too fast for me though. He went from like 0 to 1,000 like in 1 month. Like he came on the scene and then he won like a bracelet that year.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like he did
blew up.
everything like.
I think he got like 2 bracelets, 2 or 3 bracelets.
Yeah, he's got like 2 or 3 bracelets. Yeah, he's been around like 2 years.
He took down a 25K high roller too for like.
Yeah, like I
7
feel like his
something.
trajectory is. That's why I feel like he's kind of come. I mean, I'm not nothing against Rampage. I love Rampage. I'm just saying that's why I feel like he's. You can't just have that graph like forever. Like you gotta come back down a little.
It's like what's his face too? Although he was playing probably more 5'10", and then he really went heavy into PLO, but like Suited Superman, Suited Superman, we all would follow him, and he's awesome, like nice guy. And then he won a WPT tournament, I think last year, the year before, for like 600K or something stupid. It's just like,
that was his
bro,
big,
like we were peers, and now you're here, and we're
he's
still
doing
down here.
huge things. Like
Yeah, man. I love it. I love to see that because you want to see the growth. Like not everyone's gonna see that trajectory, but it's cool to see it. You know,
he posts authentic. Like I think he's one of the most like consistent posters, but like shows everything, losing, winning. Like he's one of the OGs from like. I met him like 7 years ago when I was living in Vegas, just shaking his hand at like a poker room, saying hi. He was nice, and that was 7-8 years ago. And now I had a layover in LA, and I took a Uber to like this burger place, and the burger place, when I get out the Uber, it's him on a billboard.
Oh my
in
gosh.
LA, and I'm just like, when did Suda Super like he got billboards now? And I felt like, yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's cool to see the humble people do well. You know,
Yeah,
the
he's
humble
definitely
people,
one
for
of the, yeah.
So speaking of like humble and kind of how you carry yourself at the table, like one thing we've always liked is like you show the wins, you show the losses, you'll put a story and say I played this hand terribly, like I don't, like you're very transparent. But I like that, right? Because like you'll see people post $600 buy-in, let's run it up, and then you won't see them for 3 weeks, and then they're barbecuing. Like
I know them
where's the
personally.
poker session? Yeah. So like that thought process of just being 100% transparent, like is it like I want to be transparent with poker? Or is that how you are outside of poker? Like, what is your thought process there?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but before we came on the air or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of an over talker, over sharer. Like I'm a very transparent person, and that's just how I've always been since I can remember. I just try to be a real person, so I don't like other people that aren't being real. So I don't want to be a hypocrite and be what I don't like. So I try to, I don't know. Yeah, I just want to be real. That's just how I am in general. If we're friends or we're talking, I try to be the same person that I am on the, anywhere. That's me. So, yeah, but I also think that that's what grows the game, and that's what shows the real side of the game, because anybody, like, I don't get inspired by someone that wins every time because I don't win every time. So then it's like, what am I doing? I'm a suck because this guy wins every time. But no, like, that can, like, tarnish the game. Like,
100%.
Be authentic and show that, like, you could be a professional and lose for 2 months straight and still be a really good poker player. Which I didn't really even understand that concept before I moved to Vegas. I used to think, like, if you start losing for a while, you suck and you shouldn't play poker. Yeah. But no, like,
it's a crazy concept.
Really good and just go on a crazy, downswing or whatever.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we talked about before is just transparency and having integrity in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, it is a gentleman's game. There's a lot of, things that you could do to angle or whatever, and as long as, like, hey, this is how we play. This is like this person. Oh, that's not a flush. That's a chop. Like the way you're pushing it wrong.
I'm a big angler. I mean, I try to find edges. I don't know about angles. Maybe that's the wrong word.
You show your game.
I'm a big find an edge guy, but as long as it's within the rules of the game and like we all are doing the same.
So you're showing your wins and your losses, and we think it's irresponsible to only show wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, because say the next PeteyStaysFresh is out there watching, and we're like, oh, he just goes and plays and does this.
I hope I inspire someone to play poker. That's always been my goal. It's just if I inspire one person to grow the game.
You guys a losing thing, and because he didn't see it on yours, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's good to see that. So one of the extremes that I'll remember is that you showed that you were sleeping in your car.
Oh my god, damn! So you've been following me for a while? I thought it was just Xavier. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. You actually been watching my stories so long ago?
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Like, wait a minute, isn't he playing 2-5? Like, just get a $40.
That's an interesting. You have a good point. Yeah, it makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Yeah. Okay. So I sold the condo. I had sold my condo, and I had the most money. I have I profited. I bought the condo for $70K. I don't even know if I should be saying or whatever, but and then I sold the condo, and I made $42K profit, like after all the fees. So I made in my pocket $42K profit. So boom, in my bank, whatever. That was a huge I thought I was rich. Like I was like, man, so I didn't want to like get an apartment right away Because I was a flight attendant. I'm always like in hotels half the month. If you're a flight attendant, you're gone 15 to 20 days. You're in hotels, so you're not even here to need an apartment or whatever. So then it was like a challenge. Like obviously I knew I was selling my condo, so I thought about like I wanted to like, I don't know. It was like the best. It was only like a month that I was like sleeping in my car, but it was like the best month ever, man. Honestly, maybe it was like 2 months. It was an adventure. Like it was so crazy, and I was actually playing 1-2 at Caesars the first like 2 weeks, and I won like 22 sessions in a row. After I sold my condo, I started really like, I'm gonna grind. I have my role, and I started at the 1-2s at Caesars, and I won like 22 sessions in a row and won like 5K in the first like week. Wow, it was crazy. And then I was sleeping in my car. I would literally sleep on the roof of Caesars in my car and go grind. It was crazy. I wouldn't recommend it, but I had, it wasn't like I was poor sleeping in my car. It was like I'm the richest I've ever been, but I didn't want to like let it go to my head or like start blowing it, and like I wanted the money to go up, even though I just got all this money. I didn't want it to start going down, so I was like, I'm not gonna rent. And then I got my friend let me crash his house, and I would like meet girls and crash at their houses, and it was just such an adventure. And like I would work and be here for 1 night or 2 nights and just find the Vegas life and grind and meet someone. It was so fun. I would recommend it, honestly.
Was there ever a part of you where you were like, you had this role, right, and you're like, you walk in into Bellagio and you see Bobby's room and you're like shit, I want to take a shot. Like, would it ever cross your mind like to buy at least once into a big game to say you did it and see how you did, or you're
big game like
I mean anything like a 10-20 game or something like?
Yeah, like I took a shot at the 5-10. That was a big deal to me at the Bellagio. I played like when I was sleeping in the car and I had sold the condo, I had like a 50K roll. I played. That was the first time I ever played 2-5. Was after that, and I started grinding 2-5. And I was actually doing really well at 1-2. I did like the first week at 1-2 at Caesars, which is like the best. You got like $2 an hour. I was really loving the Caesars room. I think it's changed now, but back then, maybe this is 7 years ago. But yeah, so then after that, I started playing the 2-5 at Caesars, and they back then, again, I don't know if it's changed, but it was like they never really got a 2-5 going. It was almost always just a 1-2 poker room at Caesars. But then they would occasionally get the 2-5. So then I was like the first time I played 2-5, and I had like one of my biggest wins ever. Like I think I had like a 2 or 3K win, and I was just like really, Then I started playing the 2-5s at Bellagio. It was only a 500 max. It was only a 500 max at Bellagio. I really started grinding that and actually doing pretty good. Like I was like consistently winning like every month, but it wasn't huge hours. Like I'm talking like 40 hours, not even a month. Like maybe 30 hours here, 20 hours this month.
Because you're still
like 18
you're
hours.
still working on top of that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm working full time, and then I'm going for like 2-hour sessions. So like, if I do 8 sessions a month, that's like 2 or 3 a week. And I do 2-hour sessions. It's only going to be like 16, 20 hours. That's why it's like you have to be doing 1,000 hours a year. To really be like getting a result on like if you're a good player or like being a pro or like actually saying I'm playing poker to make money. Like. I've never been close to 1,000 a year. Like, have you ever gotten anywhere near 1,000? It's like so hard. It's so hard.
At one point, I went
so hard.
I think I went weekly for like 6 or 7 weeks and played 3 to 4 hours, and that was like the most like consistent.
And it's not easy to play those 3-4 hours and be consistent and go when you have your work
with kids and stuff. No, it's too hard.
It's really hard. So it's like it's no excuse because I mean we could do anything you set your mind to, but it's really hard to just put in those hours. And that's where you're really gonna start making real money. Like I always bring up Sonny, but Sonny he plays like 7-8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day. He loves it. Like if he's not playing at the room, he's playing on his phone. Playing on his phone at the same time as he's at the room. Like this guy like lives and breathes poker and it never burns out. And I'm just like, he's a really good player. He's like I always say, he's like one of the hardest. Like I think he's the best player. Him and it's like 3 or 4. I think there's like 7 players at the poker room when I was playing every day that were like really good, and outside of them, I thought I was like kind of like right there. And I just felt like the gap wasn't so much. Where if I kept playing with them, even though you're losing money, you're learning so much, and you really are getting better.
So you rather go during the day with the regs and try to go play on a Friday, Saturday?
See, that's the rather is the question. Are you do you want to lose money but get better? Or do you want to make money but not get better? So it's up to you. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing with worse players, you're not gonna get any better. You're just gonna be making more money. It's just up to you. Obviously, we're trying to make money, so technically the answer is you should only play Friday and Saturday. Yeah, you should. That is like cake. Like there's 5 2-5s going. Every one of them has like 3 or 4 people drunk and just blasting, and there's definitely money to be made Friday, Saturday. But yeah, Monday through Thursday, if you go from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., maybe at night that you get some games going. Some people come after work and stuff, but from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day is 5 grinders that are definitely better than you, or at least 3 or 4. And if you're not the best or the second best, even if you're the third best, you're not long term. I learned that. Like, I don't know if you guys know that. Like, if you're not the best or even second best long term, you're not really making that much. Like, you might be almost like third, you're like breaking even. But if you're like the fourth, fifth best, you have to be honest with yourself. If you're there for an hour, you could tell pretty much who's like better than you. And it's not so much like an ego. They put in more hours. They sit there 8 hours a day. You don't.
Yeah.
They're doing all the things off the table that you're not
focus
doing.
Is more, I want to get better.
Yeah.
For WSOP.
Is that, well, I mean, I'm always, every year is a WSOP. Everything's geared around the WSOP. I got to get my roll up ready.
Yeah.
Those are the months I take off. Huh?
What do you plan on playing this summer?
You know, I looked at the schedule, and I never get it all exactly mapped out, but I want to do anything under 1,000. I definitely want to do it. That's a no limit. Unless it's like one of these like turbos where it's like 20-minute. Like I try to do 60-minute levels or 40-minute levels.
Yeah.
If it's not 60 or 40-minute levels.
I don't like turbo. Stay away from the turbo structures.
If it's a 30-minute level, it's just, I want to get my money's worth, and I want to have that chance to sit and really have a chance to get hands. And even if you get a bad beat, you still have time to recover, usually for like 10 hours. Or
So let me ask you this, because this is a hot topic.
Let's go.
From like one of our first or second episodes. You know, there's a couple. You know, there's a lot of tournaments on the WSOP schedule that are under $1,000, and you know, you got the $600.
Oh, I think I know where you're going. He's very passionate about this.
So
I know where you're going.
He believes, Hector believes that like the $300, even $600 tournaments, even if you're going through 10, 15,000 people, it doesn't deserve a bracelet. What are your thoughts? What are your honest thoughts on this?
I've seen this.
Do you believe it
So,
should?
This is kind of related to what I was saying about the online bracelets. I don't know if you were listening or here. Like, I don't think online bracelets deserve that should not be
Agreed.
I don't want to anybody that's won, like, I'm sure if I won a bracelet off of an online tourney, I would be very happy, and I would be like, look at my bracelet. So I'm not trying to like hate on anybody that's won a bracelet. Good for you. That's a great accomplishment. That's awesome. I just think that the bracelet, it has to have its lore. Is that the right word? I don't know. Like, it has to have its, and it's like inflation, printing money. Yeah, the more money you print, the less value the dollar gets, and the more, I feel like the more bracelets that are out there, the less the less big deal. I guess if you're giving 30, online bracelets, and then now it used to be only a few bracelets a year in the old days. Now there's like 100 bracelets every year. It's like, it is getting a little bit, I think,
saturated.
You gotta keep the prestige or whatever the word is for the bracelet, and
I'm okay with that. Like, just like the circuit events get rings.
Rings,
like,
yeah.
All right, so
rings.
So online they could get.
Yeah, maybe you get a ring for the online. Like, you get a ring.
Yeah, so I mean, it could still be a bracelet, but let's say they're, I don't know, a bronze bracelet. You know what I mean? And
okay.
Under a K is also a bronze bracelet.
What's your opinion on this?
Silver, and then you get gold. Like that.
I'm with you guys. I don't think online should get a bracelet, especially during the World Series of Poker.
Right. And but what about this like $300? Like, they have the bracelets for even if it's like 10,000. I get the argument. Like, even if it's like 10,000.
I feel like anything that's at the World Series of Poker, whether it's 300, 400, deserves a bracelet. Just because the field gets so massive. That it's kind of hard.
I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I'm kind of like, it is still the World Series, and I feel like, but 300 is still. But I do kind of understand, like, it's like, it should be like $100 tournament gets a bracelet. You know what I mean?
To the daily deep stacks or something.
Yeah. Like, they're giving out too many bracelets, is what it is. They got
99 events, I think,
99?
this year.
That's so many.
So like, it's definitely getting saturated from that standpoint. Yeah. But you can't tell me like if I'm gonna beat 15,000 people.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. I'm really like.
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm on both sides of it.
Like. There's no way. Online bracelets, send them a gift card of
If I had to choose, I would say I'm on your side. Like, you give it a bracelet. If I have to choose, but I do see your side. You have a point.
I like your answer. Kind of on each side.
No, if I have to choose, like if I'm on first take and they're always like, you got to pick a take, I'm taking it should still get a bracelet.
Yeah.
But I do understand, because I do believe it's getting too saturated. So maybe that's what it is. There's so many tournaments that are like $300. It used to be just the main event when it started. It was a 10K buy-in, and they've kept that 10K.
I remember was 1,500.
The thing is, just drawing.
All right, that's cool.
Now,
it's drawing 10,000 plus people entrance.
So that goes into the other argument, right? Like, we want growth for poker, right? So like, isn't the idea of more events a good thing? Like, we want that, right? So
it's
the argument.
tough. It's tough. I'm not the guy that would. I'd have to really think more about this, a lot more. But like, if I was the person that worked at WSOP and wanted to keep the bracelets like rare, but also I want to have growth and more. I mean, maybe you could have growth and more people buying into each tournament, but yeah, I don't know. But it's still not going to be growth,
I think someone who's buying a $300
bigger fields per tournament,
buy-in,
maybe? I don't
they
know.
care that much about the bracelet. They're going for the money.
I'm a big bracelet guy. I don't know. Like,
I mean, I'm choosing.
I probably.
I mean, I like the bracelet.
Because to me, it's like the ring in like in the NBA or Super Bowl. You say I got 6 rings. Like
Give
that's
them
for poker or what it is.
statue of the Eiffel
Yeah,
Tower.
you know, it's ego. It's ego. It's
Your
definitely
parents.
ego. It's definitely kind of stupid. But I'm huge on.
Yeah.
I just
No,
want one bracelet before I
won't
die.
lie. If I won, yeah, give me a bracelet.
Yeah.
But
Imagine, Hector, you didn't want it, right? So here's the.
Yeah.
We'll take the bracelet back.
I'm not chopping, you know. I
I
need
know
that
that,
bracelet.
but
Yeah.
I know I'm never gonna get there, so I was like, all right.
That's a good hot topic,
Give me
bro, for
money.
sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like one that we kept going back and forth. I think even off stream that day,
Yeah.
me and him were like, Hector, what are you talking about? Like,
Hector.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
bro.
I mean,
he has
and,
a point though. He does have.
there was a
he
couple
has
people commented online on some of the videos, and I mean, not to rag on Hector, but I think it's more of a hot take, his point of view, but I get it from a saturation standpoint.
Yeah.
From an effort and a difficulty standpoint, you're battling 15,000 people. Give them 3 bracelets. I don't care. Like
The argument
let's-
I have with the efforts is that it's such a like a lottery. Like
It is.
I don't care how good you are. 20K fields, you're not winning based only on skill. Like you have to get so lucky. Like
yeah.
You play in these tournaments. Like the last one I played was a few months ago. Was a
Yeah.
400 in Tampa. You go into these convention rooms and it's
huge
60 tables deep, packed.
in Tampa.
In Tampa, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you see all these players playing, and you just say it's a $400 event. I have to beat all these guys, and I can't get a bracelet, for example. So it's just like
I agree. You got it.
you
Yeah.
deserve it because you see those same
You
guys.
get a trophy. Yeah.
You see those same guys that are playing the $400 event or playing the $2,500 event,
Oh, yeah.
$5,000 event. So
Oh,
it's
for
like
sure.
You're still playing pro players, and also the guys that don't have that much bankroll. Like this is like their their main event.
get
I mean,
LeBron.
you're gonna get less pros in the 400s, obviously, but it's gonna be more like just random people that want to go.
I think you still get the same amount of pros.
You think?
400, yeah.
A $2,500 attorney have the same amount of pros as a $400 attorney?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know about that. You might. We have to.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, the only example I can go off of is, I mean, the
Maybe
one
like Sean Dean,
Negreanu
probably like-
Negreanu ran deep in last year, which had like legit 15,000 plus,
Yeah.
and I mean,
what was this though? WSOP or just?
yeah,
oh,
yeah, WSOP.
Live-
No, I mean if it's a WSOP, that's a
know if
little
it's like a-
different. Yeah.
It had a funny name. It was like Gladiator or
We're talking
something.
about pros, and then we're talking about high stakes pros.
Right.
You have guys that play every day. They're technically pro players.
No, they're pro. If you're making a living off poker, I think that makes you a pro, even if it's $50K a year. I mean, people were
And
out.
they play these $400 events just because the value is so good on them.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
no.
crapshoot, but the value
It is. No, it is good value. 400. Like, I did a 500. The last tournament I cashed in, it was January last year, I think, 2023, and it was at the Daytona. It was $500 buy-in for one day,
Oh, nice.
and it was 500 entrants. I think it was a 100K guarantee or something, but it was 500 entrants for one day, and I final tabled, and was the first person out at the final table with 9s against 10 jack. No, queen 10, and he hit a queen. But whatever. But I'm just saying, like, that's a good tourney, $500 buy-in, and it was like 50K to first for a $500 buy-in for one day. Like, I don't have to come back day 2.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do those all day. 500 buy-in. It was great structure too. Great structure.
Sometimes when you play with pros at the table, and especially tournaments, a lot of it's ABC poker.
Oh yeah.
When you play against just random people, they play a little bit different, so it's kind of harder to read them, especially in a tournament.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you playing against pros, they more patient. They fold here. It's not cash games.
Right.
They're just let me.
They're
call
not gonna
you
get out of
bluff.
line as much,
they're not
maybe.
gonna
Yeah.
get ABC until obviously they make a move here.
Yeah,
and
no,
there,
yeah.
So.
It's true. Like the pros are a lot more. I mean, maybe GTO they'll do some things to balance, but I mean, usually they're gonna be playing better. More, not doing crazy. Like, why would anybody do that? And yeah, that's a lot of the random people. So that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand behind the decision.
No, you're entitled to it. You're entitled to it. You're entitled.
Oh, yeah.
So,
What we got?
the sleeping into the car, right? Like that's
Okay.
That's a crazy like thought for anybody, right? Do you have any other crazy poker stories? Poker, Vegas, gambling,
Have to be you, man.
and it could be someone else, something you've seen. It could be at the roulette, blackjack.
I don't know if this is gonna count, but so I first started playing poker when I was 18. Now I'm 35. Just turned 35 a few days ago. What is that? 18 years? I don't even know. I can't do math. Is that 17 years?
17, 18 years.
17 years. So 17 years ago, I was I was probably a month. Like I had done the home games. I had won a bunch. I was like, I had bought like, no, I hadn't bought this book yet, but it was like a month into my poker journey, career, whatever. And a friend of mine, well, he used to date my mom. It's hard to explain the story, but he used to date my mom, whatever. He was like a father figure to me. When I was 5 to 10, he was like my mom's boyfriend, you know, so we were close. But so he was a comedian, and at the Atlantis Hotel in Bahamas, they had the Laugh Factory or whatever it was down there, I think. And he was the comedian there. So during, you know, they have the January, the Caribbean Adventure. Every January, it's like that one in the Bahamas. Yeah. It's like the first one of the year that kicks off the year. PCA. So it was like there. And I'm like, you know, so all the poker players are there at the Atlantis. And I had done, I think I did a $150 buy-in. I lost like 3 hours in. But that was like one of the first tournaments. But so let's talk my friend Manny, the comedian, he was like, hey man, I heard you started playing poker. I think my mom told him. I hadn't even really told him. But he was like, I heard you started playing poker. And he's like, there's a guy, he comes to my comedy show. He's a big poker guy. And he's like, you know, he's a fan of me because I'm, you know, he's a fan of my comedy. He comes to my show, and you know, we talk after the show, and he's a famous poker player. So he's like, I want you to meet him. So I'm like, all right. I meet this guy. For now, I had no idea who he was, and he's like a weird looking guy. I'll never forget. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I was so like, why are you introducing me? I was like, I don't even know who this is, you know. But he's like, oh, you know, yeah, I heard you started playing poker. I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you know, who are you? And he tells you his name, and I'm like, oh, right. And I'm like so embarrassed, but whatever. I found out like later he's Daniel Negreanu. I had no idea who he was.
You serious?
And I'm like, yeah. And I bought his book. My first book was the small ball book that he wrote. That's where I learned like small ball when I first started playing. And
so
yeah, that's like a story. I always love that story.
Pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I was gonna ask you, like, you've had a chance. I know you've met Phil Locke. You've met a lot of different pros and stuff.
Oh yeah, I had that video of Phil Locke. That was sick.
That was cool. Like, I mean, are there any other pros that you've met or had a chance to play at a table with that was like kind of like a wow experience? You know? I
mean, the only person that I really took a picture with is on my Instagram that it like wowed me. I'm not a big wow guy. I try to be, you know, we're all created equal, or whatever. But I'm not a big like wow guy. But for me, I met Phil Hellmuth was sitting right next to me at the Aria, and I was playing a tournament. He was playing like heads up with somebody. It was like that weird game. It was like all these cards. I forget what it's called. Pineapple. I think it's Pineapple. It's like all this like it's like he was playing heads up with somebody with huge stacks, like right next to me. And I'm like, I hate being that person that's like, hey, you know, like I'm never that person. I swear, like I don't want to bother you. Like I don't want to.
Hold that.
Yeah, like right. But I was just like, oh, what's up? And he was really nice. Like he was actually really cool. And he stopped and he took a picture with me. And he like wished me luck in the tournament. And
wait,
he
Phil
wasn't
said that to you?
Huh?
Phil said, "Wish me luck in the tournament."
Right.
No.
He wished him luck.
No, I wouldn't doubt if Phil Hellmuth. You know, Phil Hellmuth. He might say, "Hey, Petey, wish me luck."
Wish me luck. No. He wished me like he's like good luck in the tournament. It's like Aria daily, 100 daily, like those dailies. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like he didn't have to. I don't know. It was like extra.
Cool.
Like
that's real cool.
He was really nice. Like everybody makes him sound like he's like this brat asshole, but he was a pretty.
Yeah. I mean, he's only at the table.
Right. Yeah.
I've always heard he's down there. Like he's a good guy. He's just he's a poker brat. Like I mean, he literally is a poker brat.
I like that at the table. Like I don't know if that's a topic on here, but I've always been a big talker, and like a lot of people, like I've had issues and like home games and fight. Like this is when I started playing when I was 18. Now I'm 35. I'm definitely a lot, not as like how I was when I was 19, 20, but.
Hey, you've seen a lot at the poker table. Yeah.
Like I like to get it. Like poker to me is a competition, so I'm trying to get under your skin. I'm trying to make you play bad. I'm trying to use legal whatever in the rules of the game to like get in your head. And if I could get you tilted, I've won the game. Like, but people say that's bad etiquette or whatever. As long as I'm not calling you names or cussing or anything, I'm just, oh man, come on, that's how you play that hand, stuff like that. Or I'll be like, how did you call me there? Like it makes no sense. And I'm being honest. Like it'll be like I'm literally trying to get sometimes. Like I want to learn from you. Like tell me why you did that so I can learn. And I have no idea why you would do that. It makes no sense to me. So I like to get inside, even if it's like an amateur or whatever, which is probably bad poker etiquette because maybe that's gonna scare them away or make them get better or not want to play or whatever. But I like to be like, you know, that was terrible. Like I've said that before. Like that is a horrible call. Like what are you doing? Like, and sometimes that's not really how you're supposed to talk. But Daniel Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth has that poker brand. Daniel Negreanu is a big talker. And where are you guys? I wanted to hear your opinion on like, should you be the like, you know, poker etiquette, like never talk, fold, like just really almost a robot and nothing out of line or anything? Or do you think there should be more like
in our home games? I'm talking.
Yeah.
In our home games.
But why can't it be a home game at the casino?
Yeah, when I'm in the casino, it's like stoic, quiet because I'm going off of like everyone else's vibe.
Right.
I feel like
everybody else's vibe is like that.
Yeah, I feel like when I try to talk, it's
so
like,
weird, and that's what happens to me. If people are like, "Shut up," and I'm like,
so that's why
I have to sit here in silence all day, like for 8 hours.
Like, I don't like cash so much because I'm just like I just want to get
exactly.
Out of here.
That's my whole point. So it scares you away from wanting to play more cash, which I'm sure you're not the only human on earth. And I don't understand why, as a community, it's frowned upon to like talk at the table. Like I have rags at the table. They tell me like, bro, like nobody wants to talk. Like just stop talking. You know, I'm weird. Like I'll be just talking about random shit. Like if we're here for 8 hours, like I can't just sit here in silence. Like I don't know, I have ADD or whatever. It's just so boring to me. Like I have to.
I'll play 1-2, and then like every of them will join me, and then if I win a pie, and I say I only won $15, or like $15, let me get 2 blueballs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm there for.
Yeah.
You know.
Like it's
I'm
a famous thing.
I'm not trying to get rich at 1-2. Like I'm just here to play and have fun.
Yeah, no, it's a famous thing at OC. Like everybody was like giving me shit because I like really celebrated. Like I won like a 6K pot. It was like my biggest pot ever, and I sucked out, and it was so sick. And I was like, yes, like, and everybody's like, like I got up, like I couldn't even sit down. I was like, yes, you know, and I'm like just like that, you know. And everybody's like, oh, come on, rub it in, Petey. Like, come on, man, be a pro. Be a pro. Like, act like you've been there. And I'm like, I haven't been here. Like, this is my biggest pot I've ever won. They're like, oh, like everybody was giving me shit for like a week. And I'm like, bro, like, can I celebrate? Like, what is this thing where you can't celebrate because you're beating someone else? But it's like, if I'm playing a basketball game and I could celebrate like people do it in sports, but we can't do it in poker. I think poker's. Well, why can't you do a fist pump or something? Like it's so frowned upon. Yeah. And that's if I could change anything in poker, that's my lifelong goal.
Yeah. No, I like table talk. I think it takes a little bit for me to get talking with the table. I like to feel it out and kind of whatever. But once the talking gets going, I love it. Like I'll shoot the shit with whoever. Yeah. But I remember like for me it was like a culture shock, or I guess maybe that's not the word, but like a shock, because we used to play in Tampa, we'd play in Daytona back in the day when we were first playing, and the very first time we went down south in Hollywood, those dudes talk so much shit, you know, and they don't care. It's just a whole different type of scene down there. And I remember like these 2 dudes almost started throwing hands at a table, and I was like, yo, this is another level. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I saw that I was like, okay, like this is the table talk, like a different type of table talk. So that was a little eye opening, you know. And then it wasn't until I went to Vegas the very first time I sat at. I mean, we had played at the Mirage. The Mirage was the very first room we played in that day. But I remember that when I sat at the Bellagio, it got folded around. I'm in the big, and he's in the small. And I said, do you want to chop? And the guy goes, I never chop. And that was the first time no one ever wanted to chop. In Florida, we'll chop it. Yeah. And that was eye-opening because I was like, damn. Like, so it just kind of opened me up to like a whole different set of like dynamic, you know, this whole nother dynamic of poker that you don't consider, and just kind of like etiquette. What's etiquette to someone isn't what's etiquette to someone else. Yeah. What you're saying as far as like emotion and stuff, like I'm all about it. Like as long as you're not needling someone.
No, exactly. I don't care. Like, but if you stand up and you're like, let's celebration, go? Basically, is that like you never see it, right? Like it has to be like you won the main event and they still barely celebrate. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm like jump up and down. Like you just won the main. They're like, thank you. I'm like, yeah.
One of the it's not exciting. That I played at Hollywood, it was 2-4 limit, and dude beat me, you know, and I lost like $10, and I went like, oh man. And the dude, he was on my left, and he was just like, calm down.
Yeah, right.
I'll stab somebody. I was like, what? Like,
what? Wait, what did he say?
He was like, I'll stab someone. And I'm like,
2-4?
$30. Crazy out here. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
Scoot over a little bit.
That's crazy.
I played 30 more minutes than I left.
That's what I'm saying. Like it like I've had people threaten me and like
Hector had an escort to the car.
Yeah, it's crazy. You got to be careful.
Yeah. No, I think emotion's good for poker, like you said. Like as long as it's not needling like a fist pump or yes, whatever. But as long as you're not like you win and then you're berating their hand, that's a different level.
I've done it. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I've done it, which that's kind of it is a little
You're like, give me that. Why did you play that?
No, I'll be like, how did you call? I'll be like, even when I win, sometimes I've been like, because they be making it hard for me. I'm like, bro, just.
I mean, unless they deserve it.
You know,
like
they're
if they're
then it's like I think it's fair game to do it.
No, if they do it, I got you. No, I mean? You're right. Yeah. But I just think there should be more like.
But if you're the one doing it, Petey, you gotta.
No, hey, no one's perfect. No one's perfect.
Nice. So like
you can do it all you want at the home game.
I'm gonna try to keep it.
Yeah, you can do it all you want.
Appreciate it. I'm looking. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see Saturday because there'll be some guys that will be
No, I'm gonna
timid.
keep it like the home games. I'm gonna. Yeah.
They'll be timid and they don't know how to play, and then there's guys that are timid and they talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So that's
I
why I
love it.
like. But like the most seasoned players that are gonna be there Saturday is literally this group here.
Oh wow.
Everyone else is just they just come for
That's what
fun.
I'm saying. Like a home game is different than if I'm not there. Like I'm not trying to like destroy you at a home game. Like you invited me over. Like I can go to a casino or leave whenever I want. Like it's a different,
Yeah.
It's a different respect when you're playing for $1,200. I'm trying to take all your money, and here it's like $30. I'm not trying to like get rid. Like
it's
I'm
a
not
good
trying to
time.
take all your. You know what I mean?
I think
It's a different level of intensity and like.
The poker league I think will add a different dynamic to it because like I want to win the $400 or $500 buy-in at the end of the day because hey that can get you into a 100K guarantee. That can turn into something. So just kind of wrap it up. Like we'll kind of switch gears here and kind of go off topic here. Like Vegas in general. Like we talk about restaurants. We talk about like different things to do. Like some of your like Vegas favorites, right? Like so I'll shoot the shit real quick, kind of rapid fire. Right?
Yeah.
So I remember. I saw like a lot of late nights when you would post your stories and stuff. Oyster Bar at whatever Palace Station, whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
You got the pot roast or whatever the heck it was.
Uh-huh.
What are like some of your go-to spots in Vegas that maybe like as someone that's lived in Vegas, right?
I mean, I feel like I'm such a tourist again because like Vegas changes so fast. Like every time I go there, there's the Sphere. There's like the Allegiant Stadium wasn't there since I moved back. Like
Sphere is pretty cool.
it's just like everything. It grows so fast. Like even like restaurants will change. Like it's crazy the speed at which Vegas changes. But when I was living there, there was I can't remember. Fo Kim Long was 24 hours. Now I heard since COVID it's not 24 hours, which is like the whole point.
Oh wow.
But because you could always go there late as fuck, when everything was closed. But Fo Kim PHO, Kim Long. It's like right on Chinatown. Go down like the Wynn Road, go straight down from the Wynn, like over. That's Chinatown. That's like the best. Like, it's great food. The Oyster Bar is like one of the most famous in Vegas. If you want like, I call it like lobster bisque, but it's not really lobster
It's like
bisque.
a pan roast. They call it pan roast or whatever.
Gumbo, but it's like seafood gumbo, creamy, like buttery.
I remember NYPK used to like swear on that thing, and I remember for the longest I'm like I want to go and go eat
it's like
that.
$35-$40
It's
for
not
like
cheap.
you know what I mean? And you gotta wait in line. Like there's this line. It's only a bar, so like there's only a few seats.
Fernando, when we went for Marvin's bachelor party, I think I mentioned it to him. Like regardless of the time, we're gonna go take a Uber and we're gonna go to that place, and we just never did.
No,
we
yeah,
just
no,
never did it.
yeah. I mean, any of the high-end restaurants in any of the big casinos are like amazing. I haven't done all of them. I'm sure they changed. I forget the names, but I've done a few. I did one in Venetian that was incredible. But I spent like it's the most I ever spent. It was like $160 for one meal. Like I mean, they bring out things, but it's like one sit down. I spent I don't know like what's the most you spent on just eating one time at a restaurant, just for you, like not for like your whole family or whatever.
Probably like 110, 120.
Yeah, it was like 150, 160. It was like gold on the food. Like one of the food had like real gold. You're eating
and
gold.
it's always like I'm not that full.
Right, but it was incredible to do it like one time.
Delicious,
yeah, I'm still hungry. Yeah, it was like little tiny pieces of food. Yeah.
I always like samba. That was in the Mirage.
Yeah.
Oh, we
I
went
remember. That's a good.
we were there that year, right? We did the steak buffet, or it's like a Texas to Brazil kind of deal.
Yeah, all the all you can eats are like, they're like $80, but like all the all you can eats are
worth
great.
it, yeah.
Caesar's,
Last time with my
Bellagio, I've
wife,
done it.
I did the Bacchanal. That's in the Bellagio, right?
Yeah.
Caesar's.
Caesar.
Caesar's one in Bellagio. Those are the two I've done.
And I did the one in the Wynn. The Wynn.
Oh, the
buffet.
Wynn. I
I
haven't
heard
done that one.
the Win is the best one.
And I also did the Cosmo. Cosmo has one.
Cosmo.
We did that. Wicked. It used to be Wicked Spoon.
It is Wicked Spoon.
I think they closed it though.
Oh, they did?
They closed it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went like
That one was good though.
right after.
We ate at that one. When we stayed at the Monte Carlo one year, when it was still the Monte Carlo.
We stayed at the Cosmo. Wasn't the year we stayed at the Cosmo?
No, not that year. We only stayed at the Cosmo the one night, and then we just played poker on it.
Cosmo's nice. I stayed at the Cosmo.
Yeah, that
Nice.
hotel's
That's a nice
beautiful.
hotel.
Yeah.
That's like, if you're staying on the strip, I would definitely you got to get the Cosmo where it's like you can see the fountain. Like that balcony is on the fountain. That's like one of the best spots.
I like the Cosmo better than like the Bellagio.
Yeah, the Bellagio is like the best.
I
stayed at the Bellagio.
can remember like trips
But
where we ate
that's
every.
nice.
Too much walking. Like
Oh yeah,
the room is like on the other side, and like, if you want to, it's.
yeah.
I like the Cosmo better.
Cosmo's, but yeah, the Cosmo, yeah.
All
All right.
right.
Cosmo and Bellagio, yeah.
So favorite spots to eat. If let's go back to poker. Like, who's your favorite poker player? Like,
Oh,
if you could,
okay, I'm so passionate about this one.
yeah.
Okay, so it's not like obviously I told you I met it. It's not that like I love him as a person, like Poker Brad, but he has the most bracelets, and they're all no limit, and they're like, it's like main events. It's like he was the youngest ever in '89, the year I was born. He people don't understand. Maybe people know, I don't know, but I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. Like Johnny Chan had won back-to-back WSOP and main events, and it wasn't like it was in the 70s or 60s. It was like in the late 80s. Like it wasn't huge fields, but it wasn't like the smallest fields, like 10 people or 100 people. It was like, I think it was like at least a few hundred or 200-300. But so he's got back-to-back titles. He's going for a three-peat in poker. You understand? Like,
It's crazy, yeah.
he made the final two third year in a row. Like, even though he didn't get the three-peat, like, people forget. Like, I don't care how many, like, if it's more than 200 people to make the final two 3 years in a row at the most prestigious. Like, that's huge. Like, and to be the youngest kid ever to go up against Johnny Chan in that moment, it had to be. And if I've watched it like the last 20 minutes on YouTube or whatever, like he outplays him, I think. Like, and he has so much confidence, and I think Phil Hellmuth plays great. And then still, what is this? 30 years later, he's winning bracelets and extending his lead on Phil Ivey, and nobody's even close to him. And it's like, how is it even a debate? Yeah. At least in no limit tournaments. Like Phil Ivey, I think has 9 or 10, but they're like, if you look at him,
I think he has 11. I could be wrong.
Okay, 11. I think you're right.
Okay. Well, you gotta count that like Jordan hiatus thing. You know.
Yeah, it's true. He did have a Jordan, but it's even. Let's just say it's 11. I think Phil Hellmuth's at 15.
17.
I think it. I don't think it.
He's 17.
I'm gonna look it up. 17 now. 17. So he's got a 6. And it's like
he's selling a mask with.
Hold on. So I saw that today, but I thought it was an April Fool's thing.
Wait, what?
Supposedly he's selling masks like $16, $18 like face masks to sit at the poker table.
Could be April Fool's.
I think it was an April Fool's thing though.
Come on, bro. In 2024, we're selling COVID masks.
So he doesn't. Yeah, seriously.
So
he doesn't like.
Today's April Fool's. I didn't even.
Yep.
Happy April Fool's.
Yeah.
Sorry, Google. Phil Hellmuth 17, Doyle 10, Johnny Chan 10, Phil Ivey 10.
10, I told you it's 10. Yeah, whatever, you said 11, 10, 9 or 10, whatever. But let's just say it's 10. So it's 10. But if you look at them, I don't know if you could see it there. Like one of them is no limit, and the rest are like Raz. It was like 40. It was like 80 people. Like so many of them are like these super low fields, not no limit Texas Hold'em. So I'm just like, and almost all of Phil Hellmuth's are like huge field, like Texas Hold'em, Texas. So I'm just like.
Not to take anything away from Phil Hellmuth.
Go ahead, because everybody always argues with you on this.
No, he's a great player, but Phil Ivey also wins high stakes. He wins.
That's what I'm saying. But I said tournaments. Yeah, I said tournament. I was gonna go to cash. The tournaments, Phil Hellmuth shouldn't even be argued.
But we're talking about Triton Series. I still consider tournaments.
What is it?
The Triton Series?
Like the High Roller Triton Series is a poker tournament.
It's like in London, I think.
Oh, it's like the biggest buy-in.
But it's like 5 or 6 he took down already.
Oh, so you're telling me that Phil Ivey has like a better? Oh, like he's won more of those than Phil Hellmuth. Is it? Oh, he's won those. Okay.
Hellmuth even plays.
Yeah, Hellmuth don't play.
I don't think he plays in them
like that. So
he's not. I mean, yeah, it's true. He does sometimes. Like he's done the big drop or the $1 million WSOP big drop. But I don't think he cares. Well, whatever. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep
going. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like he's good. He's great. But I feel like this player's at a better just because not only they play WSOP, but they play other tournament series and they win as well too. That's like true. I think Negreanu's better than Phil Hellmuth.
I don't know the stats on like.
I agree with that.
What you say? Daniel Negreanu?
Negreanu more.
Oh, more than Ivy.
More than Ivy.
What about Ivy? So you got Ivy and then you got Negreanu then Hellmuth?
So I like Ivy personally, the way he plays better than Negreanu, but I think Negreanu's are all around better.
Oh, so they're kind of like
for poker.
Yeah, they're kind of like on the same level almost. Yeah. And then you have Hellmuth where? Because I feel like you're not even like Hellmuth's not up there for you.
Wait, is Phil Hellmuth a top 5 player?
Just tournaments.
Yeah, no, just tournaments. Is he a top 5 all-time player in your opinion?
In tournaments?
No limit Texas Hold'em tournaments. I feel like it shouldn't even be an argument.
So he's top if you only go in WSOP tournaments.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if we base it off that, because I mean, there's a lot of other things like WP.
People will still say that even though he has the most bracelets.
Even like the Super High Roller Bowl, that's pretty popular. Like it's hard to discount and miss those because Negreanu won one the other day. So
he won what?
He won a big tournament the other day. Negreanu.
Like I know there's like WPT and you're talking about Triton. So it's Triton. What is that? Like every year or like every?
Yeah, every year.
Just once a year.
In Macau, China.
Oh, the one in China. Yeah.
Is it in China? I thought it was in Europe.
They have one in China. They have
Got
one.
me.
In,
You're talking about like
Look
the
it up,
Asia,
look-
like they go to
Look it
Asia
up.
and stuff. Yeah.
I thought it was in Europe, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But
I know there's like the Macau and there's like there's some Asian series and stuff that are big.
I think the big thing with like Helmuth and Negreanu and those guys is like that I get impressed with is their longevity. Like these guys have been playing
That's what it's
for
about.
30, 40 years.
Anybody can win a couple
and they're
years
still
and then fall off.
Yeah,
you know?
they're still relevant.
Still relevant.
They're not playing the same way they did 20, 30 years ago.
and they're
They've
keeping
evolved
up. Like
their
they're
game.
evolving
It
and
was in
adapting.
Jeju.
Yeah.
I don't know where Jeju
What?
is. That sounds like China.
Whatever,
Jeju.
China, yeah, China, yeah.
But yeah, last year it was in Vietnam, and then
Yeah, it's like Asia. It's like an Asian.
yeah, Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But no,
another one
but
in
for
Los
cash
Angeles.
games, I will agree. Like the high stakes growing up, like when we watched high stakes poker, Phil Hellmuth was Tom Dwan maybe. Like, but that's back then. Like
I don't
today,
give Tom Dwan tournaments. Like,
no, tournaments he
yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Dwan's like the worst. Like he never wins anything in
Even
tournaments.
Phil Homie said he doesn't run good in cash games either.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like I've watched a lot. It's not like he gets torched every time. Like he like sometimes he wins. He's just not. He's not as good.
I just love seeing him get.
Yeah,
that beat.
yeah, I love it.
'Cause
It's
I want the blow up.
It's so good for poker. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's so good for watching poker. I don't know if it's good if you're at the table with him, but if you want people to watch poker, what Helmut and Daniel does, I think, are need to be promoted more. And even with like a lot of these IGers, like I think I've played with some of them. I've played with you. Like you're a little more quiet at the table. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. But like I watch like Wolfgang. I don't know why I keep saying Wolfgang, but like I guess I've been following him lately, and I just feel like he talks a lot at the table. He gets like. He's like getting everybody like talking and having fun and drinking, and I feel like Rampage does that too. And what was that guy that like lost $1 million? I forget his name. He's always playing LA, like live at the bike. He lost like $1 million in that one day, like that bet. He did like that bet against his heads up. It's like you know what I'm talking about?
That heads up.
He's like always at LA live at the bike. He did like a $1 million heads up with
does he
Doug
look?
Polk. What?
How does he look like? Oh, you
Doug
talk about heads up or Doug?
He did that heads up challenge like a few months back, and he like lost $1 million. I forget his name now, but whatever. He plays that. He like lost $1 million in this heads up challenge against. Thought it was Doug Polk, but it was like all over.
Nick Airball? No.
Yeah. What is it?
He looks Indian. He's Indian.
What's his name?
Nick Airball.
Yeah, Airball. Yeah, Airball. That's what I'm talking about.
He
Yeah,
did
yeah.
Against, I think against Matt Berkey. Is it Berkey?
But he talks a lot at the table, and I like that. He's kind of like, like rubs people the wrong way sometimes. But
Yeah,
I feel
he
like
gets people on the-
I respect people that get people. You want that, like, I don't know if you guys play sports, but like I like that kind of dirt, shit talk and like get you riled up. Like, let's see what you got. I think it should be welcome to poker as long as we're not stepping outside of like personal insults or cussing or like.
Of course.
But if I'm like, oh, bro, you suck. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I know that sounds crazy in the poker world, but like, why can't I be like, you played that hand terrible, bro? Like, you're not good. Like, I don't know. Like, that's inside the game. I'm talking about the game.
Yourself and 90% of these poker players are like miserable when they're
Miserable.
They just like.
And I'm just like, bro, you can't grow the game if you want new people to come. Because you have to think, I've always thought about this. Poker is in a casino, right?
Yeah.
And you got there's all these, unless you're a pro grinding, you want the people that are just coming for the weekend and just want to gamble.
Yeah.
So we want to get those people that never play poker, that are drunk, playing. Why would they come here if everybody's so serious? They're going to be intimidated. They're going to go to the blackjack table. They're going to go to the roulette table, the dice roll table. I don't even.
Yeah. Well,
It was like crabs. They're not going to come to the poker table.
You pick who you're doing it to. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
can do it to Sonny because you see him every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can talk crap. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But the
No,
brand-
don't do
the-
it to those people.
the
Yeah,
brand new
exactly.
Fish that just
No,
came in,
never.
They did something wrong.
Never a fish.
Good hand. Good hand.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I
no,
mean?
that's
So,
the thing.
yeah.
I'll never do it to a fish.
Bring him in.
That's
Do
one
you
thing I'm
play
good at.
Anything else besides poker, or are you like, yo, let me go hit the.
I delved in PLO a little bit. It's just, I mean, PLO is growing to the point right now where I think there's going to be a weaker field. Like I feel like Texas Hold'em is kind of more basic. And
Yeah.
I don't want to say basic because like you can bet more and like stuff like that, but just the hand ranges is almost impossible for me in PLO.
Yeah.
How do I put you on a hand range? I've talked to people and nobody can explain it. Like
the chips are going away from me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I had this.
right, yeah. It's like it's so much harder. There's
Yeah.
so many more cards. There's so many more combinations. There's so many more ranges, and it's just like pre-flop. I think there's like no range. People will pretty much
Yeah.
see a flop like 80% of dealt cards. Like you almost always see 5 people to a flop, or like it's not like Texas Hold'em where you can get heads up or 2 people or 3 people. It's like always 3, 4, 5, 6 like people to a flop. So like the hand ranges, I just don't understand how you can actually have an edge in PLO unless you're just so mathematical that you're just always getting it in with like that 5% edge of like aces.
PLO is you can flop the nuts, but you know somebody's drawing to
something.
Right.
The bigger nuts, so it's just like you just gotta.
But what if you don't have the nuts? I gotta always have the nuts. It's so boring. Like you can't even get people to fold because they always gonna want to see the next card.
You could be drawn to it if you have a lot of outs.
Yeah.
You're willing to waste.
That's true. That's fine.
It's a lot of chasing.
And
So much chasing. Yeah.
I think the element about PLO that's really interesting to me is the idea of blockers. Like you see people bluffing with air,
That is a good
but they're sitting there with blockers. So it's like, you know what? I don't have nothing, but I know you don't because you need what I have.
Right. No.
So the idea of blockers is
bigger
huge.
in PLO. It's much bigger in PLO blockers. Yeah, that's a good.
And just the fact that you can like redraw on each street basically is just crazy game.
It's crazy, and you get 4. Yeah.
So, so kind of wrapping it up, like
Yeah, man, this has been fun, bro.
we talked about growth in poker and whatnot, right? Like, so I think we're all like, we'd like to see the growth and kind of see that. What advice would you give a new person coming into the game, right? Someone that's watching this, because, we talked about transparency, right? Like, it's not good for people to only see an upswing, right? They got to see the downswings and stuff. But people coming into the game that are just starting out, what advice would you give them, or what advice would you give an 18-year-old Petey?
No, that's a great question. No,
So he's new to poker. He's probably never gonna pick it up like that because
come on, you got to get into it, bro. You got to come on.
But
You got to
like,
fall in love, get that bug.
if 18-year-old Petey's right in front of you,
Yeah, it's a great question. No,
What would
I
you
would
tell
just
him?
do this. I would tell people what I did, and what I did was just completely fell in love with the game. I was playing as many of the home games as I could, but I bought the first book I bought was that Snap. I said Snap Call.
it's not.
It was
Our book releases this summer.
Daniel Negreanu, a small ball.
Bestseller.
Small ball. It was like Daniel Negreanu's like book was like this thick. I don't know if you know. It was like way back. That was like the popular book, but it was just basically small ball where you're just constantly putting half pot bets, C bets. Raising pre, taking down small pots. Where because aggression does take down pots. If you're just waiting for nuts, you can't just C bet and people will fold so much. And I think that's a huge. So yeah, just read as many books as you can. I read that one. I read the Harrington, Volume 1 and 2 for tournaments. One of my favorite books is Poker and Buddhism, or the Buddhism of Poker, or something like that.
Okay.
That's a great book on just like mental game and like not getting tilted and like the questions of like what happens when you get a bad beat. So I would just say try to play as much as you can, but low limits. Like don't be playing high limits. Play as Go save up 200 once a week and go play Friday every week. If you're just starting out, you work all week. Go bring the max by 200-300. I mean, you can save up 200-300 if you have a normal job and just have one max buy and all week before Friday and Saturday. Study as much as you can and watch videos to get the basics down. But I think poker is real easy to learn. It's a very basic game, especially if you've played any card game. I mean, it's pretty simple game, but the things that really are the nuances of poker take experience and take time, but you just got to dive in. Just try to fall in love with the game. You got to love it. If you don't love it, you're just wasting your time in gambling. Because you can go play blackjack or gamble. You got to love it and try to find that discipline of like playing good poker, playing correct good poker.
You ever find yourself at the blackjack?
What happened?
Roulette?
No, I've always been kind of disciplined. I don't have the only thing I would do when I was living in Vegas, it sounds stupid, but like if I was on like a date and we're walking around, getting drinks, and I'll be like, oh, black or red, and that was always a fun thing. The girl would be like, oh, whatever she picks, I'll put like a $20 on, watch the ball bounce around. It's like a fun date, and it's like, oh, babe, you picked the right one, good job, It's so fun, and it's an easy thing to watch the ball bounce around. It's basically 50-50. Just the green is like a 2% edge, but you get 48% every time, so it's like, But that was pretty much it. I never got into like, not even blackjack, I don't know. Maybe I played it once or twice, but nothing like,
It's a good thing. Stay away from the pits.
But yeah, I don't know.
That's my weakness. So, all right. So
You love blackjack?
The pits in general. Anything
See,
I can make money.
DJing.
Anything I can make money in, I'm probably in there. But I've learned to kind of steer away from it.
You can make money at the.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
make
yeah.
money like you think you can have an edge and make money at the blackjack?
You never have an edge, but I've gone on runs. I mean, they've seen
No,
they've
of course
seen
anybody
runs.
could go on runs. I mean,
Yeah,
so
but that's what I'm saying. That's a weak.
I mean,
That's
like
a
you can't
weakness.
have like an edge, right? Can you?
No, no. Statistically, you never have an edge.
We go to whenever we go to Vegas, like we're like, all right, we're just playing poker. We're playing poker, and then we're just like,
Yeah, you get
hold
that.
on, let me go.
That's
roll
the hard
some dice
part.
real
Yeah,
quick.
a lot of people. I mean, I was a sports better. It's like I did a lot of sports betting because I feel like I really follow sports.
Yeah.
So I thought I had an edge.
Yeah.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I won like 10 in a row and then I lost 10 in a row and I was like over it.
Yeah.
So
For me, it's just more of we don't have those games here. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have like craps without like
exactly. And why?
rolling
And
dice.
why?
We do now.
Yeah, we do.
The,
Yeah.
the Hard Rocks have craps and roulette now.
Yeah, where
Well,
roulette
now,
was
but it's
Now,
like a
now,
newer thing.
now.
It's like
Yeah,
a newer
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Since
that's great.
November.
yeah.
November, yeah, and like we've been here our whole lives. It's like
Yeah.
since
Took
November.
way too long.
And I'm like, I hate the machine. So.
Why is it so like
It's silly.
illegal? Like I just don't understand. Like
So one last question to just build off of what you talked about. So like, and it's mainly because we talked about this topic before. Coming into the game, would you value getting reps in poker to learn more versus reading and studying? Like what do you value
I think
more?
experience is so much more important.
Agreed.
And,
Yeah, I think
and that's
you're
for
right.
anything in life. You can go to college and study 4 years, but if you never applied anything you learned, I mean, I'm maybe that's me the way I learn. Like I'm not a great like I gotta just do it and I'll figure it out as I go. You know, whatever it is. You know, and that's so I think. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying you should just never like even know the basic rules of poker before you sit down and play poker, but.
Yeah.
The first time I played poker was at my friend's house. It was a $20 buy-in, and I had no idea the rules. And I learned within like 5 minutes the rules, and I won that night. And my friend was pissing me because he wanted to go and chop, and I was like, "Nah, you could take the second place money, or we're gonna put." I wouldn't chop. He was so mad at me. Yeah, I just figured I didn't do anything like that before, and I just started. I won the first time I played. I really think there's like a beginner's luck. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Like when I play a new poker room, or like. Like the first time I moved to Vegas, the first tournament I played, I won. Like the first time I played a World Series of Poker, it was actually the second tournament, but it was the 10 p.m. I lost the 6 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whatever, and then I won what was it, like the 2 p.m. where it's like a big, like the dailies.
The daily deep stacks.
Yeah, like I lost the first one, whatever, and then I played for a while. Then I did the 10 p.m. and I won that one. And it was like my first day ever at the World Series, and it was only for like $3,000. It was like $150. It was like $150 mine, but it was like the first time I played. I just feel like there's a beginner's luck. That's definitely a thing. So I think
Get in there.
get
Yeah.
your feet wet, study as much as you can. But I think studying is a little bit overrated unless you're like memorizing actual math numbers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
100%. Yeah, no.
Like the actual GTO stuff. Maybe that's really good to study if you really want to be mathematical. But so much to me of poker is being able to like adjust and like feel the table, and like you can't really read about that. I mean, they could tell you to do that, but you have to learn how to like sit at the table and say, okay, this guy's playing tight, so I'm gonna play a little tighter against him. This guy's punting, so I can be a little wider against him, and you just have to learn how to do that. I think that takes more experience. Yeah, but nothing against. You should definitely study as much as you can too. I'm not saying that's not a thing.
Yeah. No, we all say the same thing. I think we all learn to play that way, and I think it's better to learn by
I should
doing.
study more. Yeah,
Poker. My neighbor asked me the other day at Xander's party. He was like, "So how do you like?" It's funny. He asked me. He goes, "So why do people lose so often with pocket aces?" And I'm like, "Man,
I hate that
grab
question.
a chair,
Yeah.
like So yeah,
It's just
learn
you
by
remember it
doing.
the most definitely.
Yeah,
Because
Awesome.
it's like you expect to win, and then that's like a classic poker thing where it's like, oh, I always lose to this hand. I hate this hand. It's like, no, you don't. It's just you remember them more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, I know we can talk for hours and
No,
hours.
yeah, I don't
and
even know
hours.
how long has it been. What's it been?
It's been an hour and 40.
Oh God, no wonder my girl's calling me like 5 times. That's what it was gonna be like an hour.
Yo, on behalf of us, man, thank you for coming through.
Appreciate it.
I hope this is the start of seeing you more often.
Yeah.
Coming for the games. You're more than welcome to always stop by the stream, man. It's a good time.
I really want to say shout out you guys for doing this. It's not easy to set all this up and have the this dedication of take the time to do this. So I really appreciate you guys doing this and
man.
allowing me to be here.
Thank you. No, thanks for coming through. We'll be posting clips from this stream all week long. TikTok,
Can't wait.
Instagram, YouTube. We'll be live next week with Main Event Guy, who was featured in Poker News recently. So
Hell yeah.
next Monday at 9 p.m. And anything from you guys to wrap it up?
No, I didn't have anything.
You guys have like a
Covered it.
closing?
No.
We're gonna be kicking off our Snap Call Poker League. You know, so it's.
We gotta post the results too.
Yeah.
Stay tuned
yeah.
for who
You'll
wins
see,
those.
You'll see some of those results.
I wanna post those
after
results
this Saturday, and we'll keep you updated as that goes along.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see a shift in content. You know, a lot of fun memes and clips from the podcast, but you're gonna start seeing some more live poker coming up, especially from the tournaments we're gonna be doing. Probably some hand analysis on stream, different spots that we find ourselves in.
I
So
wanna do some of that, yeah.
yeah, so stay tuned. You know, Petey will be there Saturday, so hopefully he'll grab some footage and bust his camera out for some big
Analysis
hands.
with you guys, that'd be fun. Yeah.
And so thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching.